morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, wherever you're at in the world. Welcome to Last Rouse Baseball's live commentary of the Nippon Professional Baseball League. It has been quite the hiatus. Maybe we call it the World Cup hiatus, but it really wasn't, as we have had some other times, other things to do. Just the busyness has gotten into the way of our lives, unfortunately, in real life. But the other part that we do enjoy is calling Japanese baseball games, and we are on the airwaves tonight. We'll be back on again tomorrow, as it is going to be the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles and the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters going head-to-head here tonight on the channel. First of all, I'm going to give you the visitors lineup for Tohoku. Leading off tonight and in right field is number 32, Daisuke Nakajima. Batting second and doing designated hitting is number 55, Yuma Yasuda. Hitting third in center field tonight is number 8, Ryosuke Tatsumi. Batting in the cleanup spot in left field is number 34, Carson McCusker. Hitting fifth at second base is number 6, Itsuki Moribayashi. Hitting in the sixth spot and playing first base is number 3, Hideto Asamura. Batting in the seventh spot at third base is number 48, Ryuya Taira. Batting eighth and doing the catching is number 2, Hikaru Oda. And batting ninth at shortstop is number 1, Rui Muniyama. And they're going to be facing the crafty lefty. It is Tetsuki Kato who takes to the hill for the Fighters. Kato, well, he's 10-1 on the year. He's worked 78 2/3 innings. He's allowed 70 hits. He has given up 27 runs. 23 have been earned. He's walked 5 and struck out 39. And he's pitched to an ERA of 2.63. Well, that's your starting lineup for the visitors from Tohoku. Now your starting lineup for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters. Leading off tonight and playing shortstop is number 43, Tetsuki Mizuno. Hitting second and left field is number 3, Yuya Gunji. Batting third and doing designated hitting is number 99, Franmil Reyes. The cleanup spot in right field is number 66, Chusei Manami. Batting fifth at first base is number 60, that's Kengo Yoshida. Batting in the sixth spot at third base is number 5, Yuki Nomura. Hitting seventh at center field tonight is number 56, Ryohei Hosokawa. Hitting eighth at second base is number 4, Daigo Kawabata. And batting ninth is the catcher, number 33, Yuya Shinto. And they are going to be facing Kosei Shoji, who takes to the hill with a 5-8 record. Worked 91 innings so far this year, allowing 88 hits, 45 runs, 43 have been earned. He's walked 26 and struck out 100 while pitching to a 4.25 earned run average. Those are your starting lineups, and we'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action. It is Eagles and Fighters when we return after this musical timeout. The ceremonial first pitches are just being completed, and we are less than 2 minutes away from the first pitch of the ball game. It is going to be Eagles and Fighters when we return after this. Well, the left-hander Kato is taking to the hill here for the Fighters as Takayuki Kato enjoying himself one of the finest seasons of his career. He has got 10 wins and 1 loss in his 78 and 2/3 of innings work. The crafty lefty enjoying arguably the best season of his career. He had won 10 games previously in 2024 against 9 defeats. And so to be off to the races here with 10 wins, pretty much just past or almost at the halfway point, I should say. The All-Star game is coming up next week, or All-Star games, as both the Central League and Pacific League will host their own All-Star game. But Kato certainly enjoying himself a All-Star quality season. It is going to be the top of the order that will come to bat for the Eagles. It'll be Nakajima, Yasuda, and Tatsumi. The Eagles have struggled all season long. It has not been their year, as they have fired their manager. They had a poor start, and they find themselves with their wings clipped at the bottom of the Pacific League standings, some 5.5 games behind the Chibalote Marines. It is 89 games so far played. They only have 36 victories. And we are ready to get this one underway as Kato kicks and delivers to Nakajima. The first pitch is a fastball center cut for a called strike, and we are underway at 2:01 or 14:01 local time. So no balls and 1 strike as the lefty delivers. There is a fastball missing down and away, and the count goes even at 1-1. Nakajima batting .255 on the year. He's got a homer and 15 runs batted in. Lefty ready to go again as he checks the sign from his catcher, Shinto, and the pitch is a breaking ball swung on and chopped foul over on the first base side. The count goes even to 1-2. So a ball and 2 strikes. Defensively tonight for the Fighters from left to right field, Gunji is in left. The center fielder is Hosokawa, and in right field it is Manami. As Kato double clutches and delivers, there's a fastball swung on and grounded, softly foul over on the first base side. Count remains at 1-2 to Nakajima. Around the horn from first to third, Yoshida is at first. Kawabata is at second. The shortstop is Mizuno, and the third baseman is Nomura with the battery of Kato and Shinto. Kato gets himself a new baseball as he is ready to head back to work here against Nakajima. Nakajima batting from the left side here against the lefty Kato, who checks the signs from his catcher Shinto, and now he works himself to the belt. Here comes the pitch. Again, a double clutch and delivers. It is a fastball softly swung on, grounded to short. Mizuno has to hurry, fields it and fires, and Nakajima is going to be retired on a ground out 6-3. He's in the books for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up the designated hitter in Yuma Yasuda. So 1 Eagle in the books, and Yasuda coming to the plate. He is hitting .265 on the year. He's got a couple of homers and 7 runs batted in. Fighters tonight sporting the home whites. The Golden Eagles have the maroon tops with the white pants. There's a fastball swung on and grounded foul past the first base coach's box. No balls and 1 strike to Yasuda. Interesting look Yasuda is sporting. He's got thick eye black underneath his eyes, but he's got glasses on. I wonder how that actually plays into effect. There's a fastball swung on and he fouls it into his leg. And I say that because the glasses, or the bottom part of the frames, are running through the eye black. So no balls and 2 strikes to Yasuda. Left-hander against the lefty. So 2 left-handed hitters to start the ball game off. Against the lefty Kato, there's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted foul. It's drifting its way over to the seats. Giving chase is the third baseman Nomura, but he's going to watch it get into the seats. And the count remains no balls and 2 strikes. Eagles fans on their feet. Those who did make their way to Hokkaido for this one, it is almost like what we would call in soccer a derby. There's a breaking ball that's taken outside. They peeled out of the third base umpire, but they say Yasuda didn't go, and now that runs the count to 1-2. So ball and 2 strikes. Some of the angles that we get, the first angle that we had on that one, it looked like it was a pretty good pitch where the catcher had set up, but then the direct angle shows it was clearly outside. Fastball swung on, grounded up the middle, fielded by Mizuno. He bobbles it a bit, and he comes up with it and fires to first, and Yasuda is going to be retired on a ground out 6-3. He's in the books for out number 2. So 2 up and 2 away, and that's going to leave it all up to the center fielder in Ryosuke Tatsumi. Well, for Tatsumi, he is having himself a fine year this year, batting .291, 9 homers and 32 runs batted in. As the lefty delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on and lifted foul into the seats down the left field line. Count is 0-1 to Tatsumi. So 3 left-handed batters in a row to start the ball game for the Golden Eagles against the lefty Kato. Again, the lefty Kato double clutches and delivers. Fastball swung on and another one lifted foul into the seats, and the count remains at 0-2. One thing I really appreciate about Japanese baseball is they are not afraid to run the lefties out against left-handed pitchers. And I've often said in North America, if you want your lefties to get better facing lefties, they have to face them. There's a fastball swung on and missed. Tatsumi's in the books. He's gone for the 3rd out of the inning, and that is going to do it here for the Eagles in their half of inning number 1. They go quietly and in order with no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. Your score through a half inning, it is the Eagles nothing, the Fighters coming to bat. Stick around, everybody. The roof is closed, but the baseball is hot, and we'll be back in just a few with all the action right after this musical timeout. Welcome back, everybody. The right-hander Shoji is just completing his tune-up tosses, and it'll be Mizuno, Gunji, and Reyes to come to bat here for the Fighters in the bottom half of inning number 1. On the flip side of the coin, we were talking about the Eagles being anchored to last place in the Pacific. The Fighters find themselves in 3rd place in the last playoff position. They are 7 games behind the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks, and they are a game and a half behind the 2nd place Saitama Cebu Lions, but are 5 games ahead of the Oryx Buffaloes, who are in action tonight. Well, this brings Tatsuki Mizuno to the plate, having himself a fine year. He's batting .290. He's got 6 homers and 30 runs driven in. Batting from the left side here against the right-hander Shoji, who is ready to kick and fire. First pitch on the way, fastball swung on. This is lifted into deep left field. This ball could be trouble. Back onto the warning track, and looking up is Carson McCusker, and the first pitch of the ball game has been deposited into the bullpen, and the Fighters have jumped out to an early 1-0 lead. So make no mistake about it, Mizuno with his 7th homer of the year going opposite field to give the Fighters the early 1-0 advantage here in the last half of the 1st inning. And that is going to bring up the left fielder in Yuya Gunji. Well, for Gunji, he's batting .239 on the season. He's got 4 homers and 20 runs driven in. Boy, I have to say, Mizuno going opposite field was not on my bingo card. Gunji waggling the bat, has a very open stance, extends his arms in front of his body, swings at the first pitch, and he hammers this through the 6-hole into left field, so we can see the approach at the plate The fighters have started to come out swinging when they walk out of the dugout. A base hit single for Gunji. On 2 pitches, they've got 2 hits. And one has left the yard. That is going to bring up the designated hitter in Franmil Reyes. Well, for Reyes, he's hitting .327 on the campaign. He's got 21 homers and 53 runs driven in. Reyes is currently leading the Pacific League in batting average. He finds himself 3rd in home runs and 3rd in runs driven in as the right-hander Shoji ready to deliver. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses inside, and the count is quickly 1-0 to Reyes. Reyes is 31 years old. I have to say, from my standpoint to him, I'm glad that he has got himself a career going in the NPB. I don't know if he'll ever bounce back to Major League Baseball, as the fastball that is swung on and lifted foul into the seats down the right field line, and they'll take care of him in Japan. He'll have a nice livelihood and be able to finish his career, one would have to think. I think that would probably be the best thing. You go back to North America, I don't know if he would get himself a guaranteed deal. Sometimes the pitchers do, but the hitters sometimes have to get themselves a minor league deal with the invite to spring training. There's a breaking ball that catches the outside corner, and the count now goes to 1-2 on Reyes. But his numbers over the last couple of years have steadily progressed. One nothing fighters enjoy the early lead here in the bottom of the first inning, courtesy of the leadoff home run off the bat of Tatsuki Mizuno. As Shoji delivers, there's a fastball swung on. This ball is driven into left field. It's going to get down in front of McCusker for a base hit. Stopping at second is Gunji, and there has been no mystery here in this one so far, as all 3 of the hitters who've come to bat for the fighters have been easily able to figure out the starter Shoji, and that's going to bring up Chusei Manami to the plate. Well, for Manami, started slowly this year, but he has steadily got himself back in the swing of things, so to speak, as he's got his average up to .270 on the year, 18 homers and 46 runs driven in. Manami is getting himself into the batter's box, ready to go, as he taps both sides of the plate. A runner at second is Gunji, runner at first Reyes. Nobody gone here in the bottom half of inning number 1. As the right-hander Shoji ready to deliver. And now he kicks and fires, squaring to bunt. As Manami takes a fastball down, and the count is 1-0. Defensively tonight for the Golden Eagles, from left to right field, it's Carson McCusker, the American, in the left. The center fielder is Ryosuke Tatsumi, and right field it's Daisuke Nakajima. Around the horn from first to third, Asamura holds down the one bag. At second, it's Murray Biashi. The shortstop is Murray Muniyama, and the third baseman is Taira. The battery of Shoji and Oda. Here comes the 1-0 offering. It is a fastball taken on the outside corner for a called strike, and the count now goes even to 1-1 on Manami. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Full slate of games across the NPB, but some of the games won't get underway until a little bit later this afternoon or this evening. In the Central League, there is 1 game currently underway, and that would be the Dragons and the Bay Stars. They're locked at zeros in the bottom of the first. Breaking ball swung on and tap foul over on the third base side. Count is 1-2. At the Kyocera Dome, it is the Buffaloes and the Marines locked at zeros. We haven't announced our schedule for tomorrow, as we are a little undecided on which game we may look in on. Not sure if we'll return to this series or not. We'll have to check the weather. Kicking around, thinking of the idea of possibly doing the game between the Bay Stars and the Dragons tomorrow. That would be exciting. Fastball swung on, grounded softly down the third base line. Fielded on the backhand. They go to second, and that's the only one they're going to get. A nice play there by Taira. He threw it on the bounce. It was a good pick by the second baseman, Murray Biashi. As that is going to retire Reyes. It's going to go in the books as a fielder's choice, 5-4. Reyes is going to be retired for the first out of the inning. Gunji advances over to third. Manami's safe on the back end on the fielder's choice. And that is going to bring up the first baseman in Kengo Yoshida. Good decision-making by the third baseman. It didn't look like they were going to be able, you would get to the bag to get Gunji, but plenty of time to be able to retire the runner Reyes. So Kengo Yoshida steps to the plate. He's hitting .292 on the year. He's got 8 homers and 15 RBIs. He gets the nod at first base tonight. Yoshida batting from the right side. As the right-hander Shoji kicks and delivers. There's a fastball taken at the knees for a call and strike. The count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Kind of sometimes look at this, and our friend Lumen Code says, just letting you know your banner hasn't updated. Yeah, if you've been around our streams, we don't usually update it to the end of the half inning, as we do anticipate there'll be a little bit more. So at each half inning, we do the update, but thanks for pointing it out. As that split finger pitch is chop foul over on the third base side. The count is 0-2. Glad to have people that are on top of it. The other time, we'll do it in between the middle of the innings if there's a pitching change or an injury timeout in the event that runs are scored. Just too many things going on. When you have a production of 1, that is what makes it a little bit more challenging. Sometimes got to keep our eyes on the game and keep you guys entertained as it is. So no balls and 2 strikes to Yoshida. Runner at third, Gunji. Runner at first is Manami. 1 gone here in the inning and 1 run on the board for the Fighters. So here comes the offering as the right-hander holds set. And now he kicks and delivers. Fastball swung on, and it's fouled off down the first base line. It was a jam job to Yoshida. He had to fight it off. And we thank our friend Lumen Code for popping in here tonight and listening in with us. It's been about 6 weeks since we called our last game. We did about 50 games right off the trot this year. And then just as I was saying at the top of the stream, there was just so much work on the back end of real life that got in the way of us doing our enjoyment of calling the games. We are going to do another one tomorrow, and then we're going to try to do a couple of next weekend, but I'm not 100% sure what we're going to add in there. I'll be out of town. I know they're coming off the All-Star break, so we'll have to look and see what games are going to work to our favor. As there's a ball thrown over to first base on the pickoff attempt by Shoji, and easily diving back to the bag is Manami. One of the 5 stadiums I've not been to in Japan is this Escon Field. It is quite the edifice, I would say. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and Yoshida is down on strikes. He's gone for the second out of the inning. It's going to leave it all up to Yuki Nomura, but I was just talking about the building and the structure, the retractable dome. I wonder in some ways if it's even worth making a retractable dome. When Fukuoka has that stadium, I've only seen Fukuoka, the PayPay Dome, open 1 time. So I really don't understand maybe why they would make it retractable in that case. Our friend Tink is in the house tonight. Welcome. Appreciate you for popping by. As we mentioned earlier, we expect that there'll be a few familiar faces popping in. Tink wants to know who I like today. Well, anybody who's playing against the Eagles, to be quite frank. There is a breaking ball missing down and away, and the count is 1-0. It's probably a safe bet this year. The Eagles got to get themselves sorted out. I mean, I think their starting pitching is forget starting pitching, just pitching period is a big challenge for that group. And then after you get sorted through the pitching, the defense hasn't been all that bad. There's a breaking ball ticket for a called strike, and the count now runs to 1-1 on Nomura. Yuki Nomura batting .268 on the year, 13 homers to go with 47 runs batted in. Shoji looks like he's finally settling down a bit. 3 hits to start the ball game, a home run and 2 singles. I've got the Fighters out in front 1-0. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. It's kind of too bad because I kind of have a spot for the Golden Eagles, especially when they had the return of Masahiro Tanaka. You know, some of the veteran players they had. Fastball misses outside. Count goes to 2-1. But you know, Yuki Matsui, when he was closing games for the Golden Eagles, and they had some problems at the back end. They had that Chihao Sung was pretty good, but they also had the reliever Enraku, who I believe was pitching in the Mexican League. Ended up getting released because I guess he was bullying his teammates. Shoji steps off the back of the rubber and fakes the throw over to first base. Tink says, do you think the total will go over 8.5? The wild card in this one is the starter Shoji. Shoji, I would think, can keep this game closer to that, but I would expect the fireworks to happen once they go to the bullpen, so there probably is a good chance this one could sneak over. Fastball misses outside. Count now goes to 3-1 on Nomura. Now, I say that because for an 8.5, it's a lot of runs that have to get scored. I don't know if the Eagles will do their part against Kato, who has been absolutely brilliant this year. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball misses down and away. It's going to be ball 4. That's the first free pass issued by the right-hander Soji, and that's going to advance Minami over to second. It's going to load the bases for the Fighters. It's going to bring up the center fielder in Ryohei Hosokawa. Well, for Hosokawa, he's hitting .281 on the year with a couple of homers and 9 RBIs. And when you think about it, obviously you have professional teams. Everybody's a professional. They have to play. But I have to say that the Golden Eagles are almost a ship without a rudder right now. I know they've changed the manager this year. It's Yoshi, who is the manager, the former Chibalote Marine manager. Guiding through, they had fired Mickey. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses down, and the count goes to 1-0 on Hosokawa. So it kind of makes you wonder who is the right person to be able to change the culture and to right the ship. When the Fighters hired Shinjo a couple of years ago, I was a bit skeptical. I have to say I do tip my hat to Shinjo, the way that he has been able to get the Fighters to be able to play. He's really turned the club around. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball swung on and lifted foul. Now, the next question is are the Fighters going to be able to get over the hump against the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks? I would have thought that this would be the year that the torch would be passed, that the Fighters would overcome the Hawks, but I mean, the Hawks have been playing in the regular season. They are not going away anytime soon. Here comes the 1-1 pitch as Shoji again works himself to the set. Kicks and delivers. Fastball swung on. This ball is driven into deep center field, racing back, and it is going to be caught on the warning track with his back to home plate. What a play there by the center fielder Tatsumi as he's able to run it down. Hosokawa hits it to the deepest part of the ballpark, but he's got nothing to show for it as he's gone for out number 3 here in the first inning. Well, the Fighters get a run in the inning on the home run by Mizuno on the benefit of 3 hits. There was no errors, and there were 3 runners left aboard. Your scores, we are now through 1 complete inning. It is the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters 1 and the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with all the action in just a few, and we'll update our ticker for you as well. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a bit.
Like it's delirium, ay, ay, like it's delirium, ay, I got delirium, ay, like it's delirium, yeah, like it's delirium. She just wanna bounce to it, baby, get your giddy on. Welcome to the stage with a drink like I'm Giveon, but I never came here to sing what I'm really on. Giving dividends, I'm trying to boost your career and all. Nigga,
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving ourselves to the top half of inning number 2. It'll be Carson McCusker, Itsuki Moribayashi, and Hideno Asamura to come to bat for the Eagles. Our friend Tink, who was in here earlier, asking us who we think is it going to go over 8.5. One thing that you always have to be concerned about is with these starters. We've talked about this often on our streams that sometimes the starter comes in and he has a hard time getting his release point in the first inning, and once he settles down, it can become a very daunting task. And so we'll have to see how Shoji settles down from the first inning onward as that first pitch fastball misses outside. The count is 1-0. McCusker has got it going. He's hitting .266. He's got 12 homers and 35 RBIs. He's a big fella standing from the right side. And he swings at a fastball and lifts this one into deep right center field. This ball could be trouble. Back on the warning track, and it's going to be off the wall. Miami picks it up, and he fires it back in. And cruising into second with a double is McCusker, as he has got the Eagles' first hit of the evening. And that is going to bring up the second baseman in Itsuki Moribayashi. Friend Roly Poly fan says, will this game finish under 7 runs? Well, our friend Tink asked us a few minutes ago if this game could go over 8.5. And I said, well, 8.5, I think, is pushing it, but I think it could go over 7. So in other words, I think it could be 7 or it could be 8 for sure. To hold it under 7, I'd be a little bit surprised. I guess we're just going to have to wait ourselves out. There's a first pitch fastball ticket for a called strike. I think Kato will keep us in check. Jacobs Wick says, how's it going? It's going pretty good. Glad you can make it in. So no balls, 1 strike to Moribayashi. Runner at second, McCusker. Nobody gone here in the top of inning number 2. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball ticket for a called strike. Count now goes to 0-2. Tink asks the question, what other teams do we like tonight? That's a good question. We'll get to the other questions in just a couple minutes. The other games that are on this evening, the Buffaloes and the Marines. I like the Buffaloes in that one. There's a fastball swung on it. Is looped into left field. It's going to get down for a base hit as it falls in front of Gunji. And so just like that, the Eagles have runners at the corners on a single by Moribayashi. That moves McCusker to third. That's going to bring up the first baseman in Hideo Asamura. The game between the Dragons and the Bay Stars, I got no comment on that one. Don't really have a feel for what is going on in both of those camps at the moment. I would stay away from the Carp and the Swallows. Swallows, as a whole, they're starting a swoon, the Swallow swoon, as they are fading. I wonder if they're even going to make the playoffs. I wonder if they'll get caught by the Bay Stars eventually. Game between the Lions and the Hawks, Otsu versus Takuchi at the Balluna Dome. If that game was in Fukuoka, I'd side with Otsu, but I think I might go with the Lions in that one. Fastball ticket for a called strike. Counts 0-1 to Asamura. And then the Tigers and the Giants, Ihara going for the Tigers, Takamura for the Giants. The game's at the Koshin Stadium. I might lean Tigers on that one. There's a fastball swung on. This is lifted into left field. It's playable. Moving over underneath it is Gunji. Tagging at third is McCusker. Here comes the throw. It's going to get cut off. They throw to the plate, and it's not going to be in time. McCusker is going to score. It's going to be a sacrifice fly to 7. RBI recorded to Asamura. He's gone for the first out of the inning. McCusker scores, and this game is all tied up at 1. So there you have it. As this game here is going to have some offense in it here tonight, it looks like. Our friend Roly Poly fan asks the question, how are these teams' bullpens? Well, in my opinion, the bullpen for the Fighters is significantly better than the Eagles. So if this game went late or got to be late, you got to think that the bullpen would take over for the Fighters if they have the lead. I would think if Kato can get them 6, then the day off yesterday, they'll have a fresh pen to work with. First pitch delivered to Tyra as a fastball swung on and fouled away. Ryuya Taira batting with a 254 average, 8 homers and 18 runs driven in. He gets the start at third base tonight. Fred Jacobs Wick says, did you see the Dahlbeck homer to break up the complete game shutout? Actually, no, I didn't. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. The count is a 1-1. I have to be honest, the last 6 weeks has been a bit of a blur. It's been pretty busy in these parts and haven't really, other than the daily quick reads, I haven't caught a lot of highlights, haven't done a lot of things that I'd like to be doing. We'll be back in the saddle again tomorrow night for more NPB action. Fastball swung on it is popped up foul. It is playable behind the plate. Underneath it is the catcher. That is Shinto. He's there to make the catch, and Tyra is going to be retired for the second out of the inning. So 2 gone, and it's going to leave it all up to the catcher in Hikaru Oda. Jacob wants to know if there's a pitch clock in the NPB. The answer to that is no. And what is going on here? We have missed something here. That was the second out of the inning. What happened to Murray Biashi? We don't know yet. As Kato is walking off the field, high-fiving or low-fiving everybody, we're going to have to get a look at this one. So I was looking at my charts. I'm going to have to run it back here so I can get you exactly what had happened. Very strange scenario in that situation. That is for certain. Get through that. They got the runner at first. So when the pop-up was delivered or by Tyra, what exactly happened on that particular play? Was the runner in motion? I don't know. We'll get a look at it here. They had one out. They popped it up, and the foul territory side was caught by Shinto, and he had fired at the first base because the runner was off and running, and so that was a double play. That's the Eagle baseball that we've been watching for much of this year. That is not smart at all. And that is a pretty ugly baseball. It goes as a double play, 2-3 on the putout for the third out to retire Murray Biashi. And that is going to do it here. But the Eagles do get a run back in the inning. 1 run on the benefit of 2 hits. There was no errors, and there was nobody left aboard. We're moving to the bottom of the second inning. We're locked at 1, so I'll come back and answer your questions in just a couple of moments.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. It'll be Kawabata, Shinto, and Mizuno to come to bat here in the second. Kawabata already takes a fastball inside for ball 1. As the right-hander Shoji delivers a fastball that is swung on and fouled away, and the count runs even to 1-1. Kawabata batting .214 on the year, no homers and 1 RBI. Getting the nod at second base tonight. Our friend Jacobs Wick asked, is there a pitch clock in the NPB? And the answer to that is no. As the pitch is a breaking ball that is swung on, it is looped over the head of the second baseman into right center field. Over to cut it off is the right fielder Nakajima, and he's going to fire it back in. So a base hit for Kawabata. And the hit parade continues here off of Shoji, as that's the 4th hit collected tonight by the Fighters. It was a ball that he had to golf into right field. The Wandering Youth says, happy weekend all, and hoping for number 11 for Kato. This is for sure. This would be his career high if he could get his 11th win. I just have a feeling tonight it's going to be a bit of a shootout, or a bit more of a shootout on the side of the Fighters. Already squaring the bunt is Shinto. Shito hitting 205 on the year, 3 homers and 9 RBIs. The bunt is down. It's a good one. It is fielded by Shoji, and he throws to first on the run. It is going to be a sacrifice. It's going to go in the books 1-4 on the putout. Shinto gone for the first out of the inning. Kama Kawabata over to second. I'll bring up the top of the order in Tetsuki Mizuno. Well, for Mizuno, he got the game going with the first pitch that he saw. He deposited into the left field bullpen as he went oppo taco to get things going. So he comes to bat here with the game locked at ones. Runner at second, Kama Kawabata. Mizuno stepping to the plate. With that home run back in the first inning, he's raised his season average to 292. That was his 7th homer of the year. As the right-hander Shoji kicks and delivers, it's a fastball that catches the inside corner for a called strike. Count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. As we mentioned, we are going to do another game tomorrow night, and we'll update that. After this one is done, we'll have to look at the pitching matchups and see exactly what we're going to do. There's more scoring around the NPB, as the Buffaloes have a 3-1 lead over the Marines. That's in the top of the second inning at the Kyocera Dome, as that breaking ball misses inside. Now it's even at 1s to Mizuno. And the Bay Stars are on the board against the Dragons in the bottom of the second, so lots of fireworks all over the country. The early games. All the other games go off at 6 o'clock local time, or 1800 hours if you're on the military clock in Japan. As the pitch is a fastball taken at the knees for a called strike. The count is now 1-2 to Mizuno. At the Jingu Stadium will be the Carp and the Swallows. The Giants will play at the Koshin against the Tigers, and the Hawks are in Takarazawa at the Baluna Dome to play the Saitama Seibu Lions. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Mizuno as Shoji works himself to the set. He checks the runner at second. Checks him again, now delivers. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. And our friend Epic, Laughing Out Loud Boy, says, happy you're doing this again. Well, we appreciate you for being here. Glad that we could make this happen for you. As we said, we took a little bit of a hiatus. It was kind of busy around here. There's a fastball taken at the knees for a called third strike. Oh, Mizuno stood there like the house by the side of the road, and he watched it go by for out number 2. So he is in the books, and it's going to leave it all up to Yuya Gunji. And TL3, Sarek says, let's go. We're glad you could be here with us too. As we said, we're going to take a look at the starting pitchers tomorrow night, leaning maybe towards the game between the Bay Stars and the Dragons. I'd like to see Ogata pitch tomorrow. I believe that's who's going for the Bay Stars. And the pitch from the right-hander is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Count is 0-1 to Gunji. Gunji singled in the first inning, but he was left stranded at third as the Fighters had left the bases loaded. Gunji getting the start in left field tonight. Both of these teams had the night off yesterday. Our friend God is great says, where you been? Yeah, we were in hibernation. I'd like to say hibernation, but boy, oh boy, it's been pretty busy around here. That's the first thing. As that pitch misses down, the count is 1-1. And we're going to try to do some games with regularity. I have to go back east next week as my father has had some challenges over the last month. He's been in the hospital a couple of times, so I'm going to get back and see him. And when you're north of 90 years old, sometimes that happens, is the health isn't the best, and he's had a couple of bumps in the road here in the last 4 weeks. So we'll do tonight, we'll do tomorrow. We'll try to get a couple maybe next weekend, maybe, or at least one during the week when we are on the East Coast. There's a fastball that misses inside. The count goes to 2-1. The All-Star break is this week, so there'll be a couple of days off for the Pacific and the Central League. So we'll try to scratch out a game or two on the following weekend. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Gunji. As the right-hander Shoji ready to go again as he works himself to the set position. And here comes the 2-1. And there's a fastball swung on it, is belted foul into the seats. Our friend God is great said his dad has hit 102. Yeah, I kind of kid my dad all the time. We have a neighbor across the way who turned 104 in May. Unbelievable. Epic Boy says, are we going to do the Dragons? Yeah, I'm leaning toward that tomorrow night. The Dragons and the Bay Stars. As I mentioned, I think it's Ogata going for the Bay Stars. I'd like to see him. I haven't seen him since he's been traded from Fukuoka to see how he's doing. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Right-hander delivers. Fastball swung on and it softly hit up the middle. Fielded on the run by the shortstop, Muniyama. He throws to first, and that is going to retire Gunji on a ground out 6-3. And that is going to do it for out number 3 here in the second inning for the Fighters. Well, they threaten, but they don't score. They squander the leadoff single by Kamikawabata and leave them in scoring position. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. We are now through 2 complete innings. It is the Eagles and the Fighters locked at 1, and we'll be back in just a couple of moments with all the action right after this musical timeout.
Find my way to you. Yeah. I want to find my way to you. You, my love. There's so many people who say that they won't when they will.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball.
That's right, everybody. We know baseball, and we know it's the Eagles coming to bat here in the top of the 3rd inning. It'll be Oda Muniyama at the top of the order, Nakajima to face the left-hander starter Kato here. So the ball game got going in the bottom of the 1st inning. The first run was scored, a leadoff home run by Tatsuki Mizuno on the first pitch he saw, deposited into the left field bullpen, giving the Fighters early 1-0 lead. The Eagles countered in their half of the 2nd inning, a leadoff double by McCusker, a single by Murray Biashi, and a sacrifice fly by Asamura evened the score at 1. And that is where we stand here going to the top half of inning number 3. For Oda, he's hitting .225 on the year. He's got a couple homers and 9 RBIs. Swings at the first pitch and hammers it foul over on the third base side. So no balls and 1 strike. So God is great said his grandmother passed at 107. That's pretty impressive. There's a lot of long livers there. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-2. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Okinawa has the most centurions found anywhere in the world. The life expectancy in Okinawa, Japan, is one of the highest points. There's a ground ball hit to short, fielded by Mizuno. He bobbles it, and then he almost throws it away. And that is going to be an error that's going to allow Oda to reach base. It's going to go E6 to Mizuno. So Oda has reached it there. It looked like it got him on a bit of a tricky hop. Looked like a routine ground ball. He stayed down on the ball, and then it bounced up, caught him off the heel of the glove. And then when he went to pick it up and throw to first, almost threw the ball away as he threw it on the home plate side of first base, as Oda easily able to make it in the first for the Eagles. That's going to bring up the shortstop in Rui Muniyama. So Muniyama standing in on the left side, and the first pitch is a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Muniyama really struggling this year. He's hitting a .180 homer and 6 RBIs. 9 for 50 on the year. I remember doing a game in the preseason between the Carp and the Eagles, and Muniyama was yanked in the early part of the game as there was a breaking ball swung on his hit into deep left field, just not deep enough. Moving back on the edge of the warning track and making the catch is Gunji, and that is going to retire Muniyama. He's gone for the first out of the inning. One away here, and that'll bring up the top of the order in Daisuke Nakajima. Nakajima 0 for 1, grounded to short his first time up. Oda, the runner over at first base. Not exactly a lot of speed on the base paths. Yeah, the first pitch is a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Nakajima. As we were talking about what we may consider doing tomorrow for games, as I mentioned, the game that we're probably eyeballing the most will be that one between the Dragons and the Bay Stars. There's a fastball swung on and lifted foul. Count now 0-2 to Nakajima. We're going to skip the games. The same 3 games that are later tonight are also late tomorrow. The game between the Lions and the Hawks, the Swallows and the Carp, and the Tigers and the Giants. We're going to take all of those away. Not going to do any of those. Although in some ways I wouldn't mind doing some of the games in the Pacific League. There's a ground ball hit over to second. It is fielded neatly by Kema Kawabata. They go to second for one, back to first. And that is going to be an inning-ending double play, as that is going to go of the 4-6-3 variety. As Nakajima gone on the back end, Oda gone for the second out. And that will do it here for the Eagles as they go unconventionally 1-2-3. So the error doesn't come back to bite them. No runs in the inning, no hits, 1 error, and nobody left the board. We're moving to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Your score is the Fighters 1 and the Eagles 1. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple of moments after this with all the action on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. Thanks for hanging in here with us tonight. Great to be back on the airwaves. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the Franmil Reyes to lead it off here in the bottom half of inning number 3. It'll be Chusei Manami and Kengo Yoshida to follow as the big fella comes up to the batter's box, ready to get things going. He's 1 for 1 tonight. He was raced on a fielder's choice back in inning number 1. So Reyes coming to the dish with that base hit back in the first inning. He has continued to improve upon his batting average for the season as he steps in here. Ready to face the first offering from the right-hander Shoji. And the pitch on the way is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. And the count is quickly 0-1. Reyes batting from the right side here, waggling the bat. As the right-hander ready to go, he kicks and fires. There's a fastball missing way upstairs. The count now goes even to 1-1. That knock in the first inning, Reyes has improved his batting average to .329 on the campaign. Pitch on the way, fastball swung on and fouled straight back. Oh, he was right on that one. Just missed. That's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Reyes. Again, the right-hander waggling the bat. Shoji kicks and delivers. There's a split finger pitch missing down, and the count goes even to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Right-hander against the right-hander. Shoji works himself into the set, even though there's nobody on base. He kicks and delivers. And there's a fastball taken at the knees for a called third strike. Oh, Reyes came to the plate with a big old smile on his face, is leaving with a big old frown. He's gone for the first out of the inning. As we get a look at the replay on that one there, it was a 4-seam fastball right at the knees. Nice job there by the catcher, Oda, to frame it up. The home plate umpire, and in the books is Reyes for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up the right fielder in Chusei Manami. Well, for Manami, he reached on a fielder's choice his first time up. He was left stranded on base, and he swings at the first pitch and chops it slowly to short. Fielded on the run by Muniyama, who fires to first. That's going to retire Manami on a groundout 6-3. So 2 in the books now here for the Fighters. That's going to leave it all up to the first baseman in Kengo Yoshida. So for Yoshida, he is 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out in his only appearance. Batting .289 on the campaign with those 8 homers and 15 runs batted in. Listed as a catcher, but getting the start at first base tonight. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball wildly swung on. The count is quickly 0-1. I got to say, Yoshida struck out on back in the first inning on 4 pitches. All 4 pitches were strikes, or at least he made them strikes. And here is the first pitch he swings at. It was absolutely a wild hack. There's a split finger swung on and missed. The count now goes to 0-2. I haven't seen enough of Yoshida this year, but boy, it looks like he's brought the Swiss cheese to the plate tonight because there's a lot of holes in that swing. So no balls and 2 strikes it is, as Shoji ready to deliver again. Pitch on the way, fastball way upstairs, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the right-hander ready to deliver. As he kicks and fires, there's a fastball swung on. A nice inside-out swing the other way. If it stays fair, it's trouble. It's going to get down, and it's going to roll into the corner. Yoshida heading to second base, and the throw, it's in time. He didn't even slide into the base. Oh, my goodness. That's typically a easy play for a little leaguer. You got to get down. You got to get dirty. And a nice play there by the right fielder, Nakajima, to come up throwing and able to get Yoshida. It's going to go in the books as a single. It's going to go 9-6 on the putout. He's gone for the third out of the inning, but that is some bonehead baseball base running there by the Fighters. And the manager, Shinjo, you could see not impressed. No runs in the inning, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left aboard. We are now moving to the top of the 4th inning. A third of the game is in the books. Your score is the Eagles 1 and the Fighters 1. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back with all the action in just a few right after this musical timeout. Welcome back, everybody. That was some entertaining base running for sure, as Yoshida never even decided to get dirty, as that is a cardinal sin. Typically, you tell that to the youngsters, you got to get down, you got to get dirty. And he did not do that, as he was tagged out trying to stand up into second base with a double. The first pitch delivered from Kato to Yasuda is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is quickly 0-1. Only 31 pitches in the first 3 innings. There was a fastball swung on. This ball is driven into deep right center field. This ball could be trouble, and this ball is gone. A home run off the bat of Yuma Yasuda, and that is going to break the ice here, as it's now going to give the Eagles a 2-1 lead here in the top of the 4th inning. Our friend Roly Poly says it's trending like a low-scoring game. You might want to check that update on the over-under, as it may have changed yet again. A solo shot off the bat of Yasuda has now put the Eagles in front 2-1. A letter-high fastball, and he made no doubt about it, depositing his 3rd homer of the year into the seats. And here's the first pitch to Tatsumi. It's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. So a 2-1 Eagle lead here, as the lefty delivers. There's a fastball swung on and missed. And the count now goes to 0-2. I have to tell you, I really like the way that Carson McCusker looked when we saw him, just the way that he fills out a uniform, and you can understand why teams fall in love with him. As that pitch misses low and the count is 1-2. McCusker, who's on deck, spent time with the Minnesota Twins. He is a big fella. Breaking ball that misses down. Count now goes to 2-2 on Tatsumi. You can kind of understand why teams would probably fall in love with him. We were just commenting on just his physical size. Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left field, but it's not deep enough. Moving over and in front of the warning track to make the catch is Gunji. Tatsumi got to be gone for the first out of the inning, and Carson McCusker coming to the plate. As we were talking about McCusker, he is a big fella. And specifically speaking, I have to go back and take a look. I think he's 6'8", if I remember. The first pitch coming from Kato is a fastball swung on. It is popped up down the right field line, giving chase is Manami. He's going to have room, and he makes the catch, and that's going to retire McCusker for the second out of the inning. And for McCusker, as we were talking about, stands at 6'8", 250. Was drafted in the 2017 draft from Folsom Lake College in California. And finds himself now at the tender age of 28 in Japan. Here's the first pitch on the way. Breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Murray Biashi. Murray Biashi, 1-for-1. He's got a single. And it was his sleepy base running that got him doubled off back in the second inning. As that fastball misses inside, the count's 1-1. I have to say, this is something I've noticed about Kato tonight. He is really working quickly. Fred Roly Poly says he just put a live parlay in the Eagles under 8 and the Dragons under 7. What do I think? Fastball swung on. This ball is belted into left field. It's going to get down into the corner for a base hit. This has got a chance for extra bases. Rounding first and heading to second is Murray Biashi as Gunji plays it off the wall. And he's got himself a double here with 2 gone. That'll bring up the first baseman in Hideto Asamura. Well, our friend Roly Poly asked the question, what do I think about it? As I mentioned earlier at the top of the stream, I'm kind of staying away from the Dragons and the Bay Stars. I really don't know. I don't have a feel for what those two teams are kind of doing right now. Bay Stars are certainly a team that is, I say, on the rise, or is it because the Swallows are just in a bit of a free fall? Looks like they're on the rise. I think that they're going to catch the Swallows by the end of the year. And they will be the third playoff team. think the Swallows are like the Toronto Maple Leaf fans. They are going to be left disappointed. The Swallow fans are like the National Hockey League team is. There's a fastball ticket for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Asamura. Asamura has the only, well, in his only at bat, he drove in a run with a sac fly his first time up. It was his 31st run batted of the year. Cato holds set, now delivers. There's a fastball missing upstairs, and the count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Asamura waggling the bat. Old Eagles fans who are in attendance are in good humor, and so they should be, with a 2-1 lead here over the Ball Club. And our friend Thomas Williamson with a super chat tonight. The ball is lifted into deep left field. Racing over into the corner is Gunji. He leaps and he makes the catch. Oh, what a play by him. It was in foul territory, and he ran out of real estate. And Asamura with the grab, or Asamura hitting it, and Gunji with the grab to record him for the 3rd out of the inning, and that is going to do it here. We've got Yasuda, who leads off the inning with a home run. 1 run in the inning, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left aboard. Your score as we move to the bottom of the 4th inning. It is a 2-1 ball game. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple of moments. We appreciate you for being here and appreciate our friend Thomas Williamson for dropping us a good old super chat. We'll be back in just a few. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Nomura Hosokawa and Kema Kawabata to come to bat. Our friend Thomas asked the question, says, who do you think is going to win this game? And I said, still sticking with the Fighters. Hard-pressed to think the Eagles are going to take them at the best of times this year, pretty much now till the end of the campaign. So that is my thoughts. So here we go as we're back to the live action. 46 pitches through the first 3 innings for Shoji, and the first pitch is a fastball that swung on and fouled away. The count is quickly 0-1 to Nomura. Nomura walked his only time up and was left stranded back in inning number 1. Right-hander Shoji kicks and delivers. There is a split-finger pitch that misses down, and the count runs even to 1-1 on Nomura. So a ball and a strike. Right-hander Shoji kicks and fires. Fastball that just misses up and away. Count now goes to 2-1. And as I mentioned at the top of the stream, that's the other thing too. Sometimes when the starting pitchers, they start to get into a groove. As you see where Shoji, he was in all sorts of trouble back in inning number 1. There's a breaking ball waved at and missed. Count now goes to 2-2, but yet able to find his way out of the hassle that he was in, or the struggle that he was in. Sometimes the pitchers, they come out of the bullpen, and throwing off the game mound is a little bit different. There's a fastball swung on, is chopped over to second. Fielded neatly by the second baseman, Murray Biashi. He throws to first, and Nomura's in the books on the ground out, 4-3. So 1 gone for the Fighters. That's going to bring up the center fielder in Ryohei Hosokawa. Well, for Hosokawa, he is 0 for 1 tonight. He flew out to center field to end inning number 1, and he sent it to the deepest part of the ballpark. It was a over-the-shoulder running catch by Tatsumi on the warning track that retired Hosokawa for the 3rd out of inning number 1, and that was important because the bases were loaded. Just to show you how important it is for Tatsumi. Tatsumi, a very good defensive center fielder. So 1 ball and no strikes to Hosokawa. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball just misses inside. Count now goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Right-hander against the left-hander. As Shoji works himself into the set position, here comes the 2-0 offering. Fastball just misses down, and the count now goes to 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes. Again, the right-hander ready to go again as Shoji kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses inside. That's going to be ball 4. 4 straight pitches to Hosokawa gets him a free pass, and he is aboard with a 1-out walk. Our friend says, what do you think of the Oryx Buffaloes? In general or just tonight? Because if you're asking about just tonight, I would think that they would be able to beat up on the Marines. The Marines are, even though there's a few games that separate them from in the standings from 4th to 5th, I still think the Buffaloes are playing at home a better team than the Marines are. They can roll out there. But, when you think about the Buffaloes, usually losing starter Yamamoto, losing Masataka Yoshida, not getting the production that they had from Toga a couple years ago when he paired off with others. I think they're just missing that one catalyst in their lineup to make a difference. That would be my opinion. Kawabata 1 for 1 tonight. Singleton was left stranded his first time up. Takes a breaking ball for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Yeah, so just in general, I like some of the pieces in their lineup. I just think that they need that one catalyst, and they could use the other thing, obviously, with Hiroya Miyagi out for the year. That's a huge loss as well. So when you think about it, you go back 3 years ago, you had Yamamoto and Miyagi. That's quite the right-left combination at the top of your rotation, as there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. And now you don't have either of them, and now you're looking for holes to fill. Now, mind you, they do have other pitchers, and of course, Sean Hajeli has come in and done decently for them. He's pitching tonight. Here's the 0-2 pitch on its way. Fastball just misses inside. Count goes to 1-2 on Kawabata. But I think that one thing that they do have to get sorted is their bullpen. I like elements of their bullpen. Perdomo and Chado, and I think some of the domestic players on the backside, like you think of Yoshi Hirano, his best days are well behind him. Fastball swung on. This ball is popped up over on the right side of the infield, backing up in shallow right field, and underneath it, making the catch is Murray Biashi. That's going to retire Kawabata for the 2nd out of the inning, and it's going to leave it all up to the catcher in Yuya Shinto. Well, for Shinto, had a sacrifice bunt his first time up, so officially a no at bat in this one. Kawabata popping out to his opposite number. It was interesting. I looked at the replay on it. It looked like when he hit it, I don't think he knew where it was. He sort of looked like he swung in self-defense. Regardless, 2 fighters out here as the right-hander delivers. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is driven into deep right center field. Not deep enough at the edge of the warning track, and there to make the catch is the right fielder of the Eagles, and that is Nakajima, who hauls it in for out number 3, and that's going to do it here for the Fighters in their half of the 4th inning. No runs in the inning, no hits, no errors. There was a runner left aboard. Your scores, we now move to the top of inning number 5. It is the Eagles with a 2-1 lead over the Fighters. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. The big boss is out of the dugout. He's flashing something to the home plate umpire. I wonder if we're going to have a change here. We'll find out in just a couple minutes. Yeah, it looks like the change is obvious. Kitaro Kiyomiya coming in. And the fella who didn't make the slide, Yoshida, coming out. I think it's going to be a straight-up change, but we'll get that for you in just a couple moments when we return after this. The night for Kiyomiya is not going to be over quite yet.
Storms on the roof, secrets whisper.
Well, if you thought Kitaro Kiyomiya was going to get the night off tonight, well, not so fast, as it is Kengo Yoshida who is going to get sat down, as that base running debacle would be the case. The first pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike. And the count is quickly 0-1 to Tyra. Tyra had squared the bunt, but he pulled back. 45 pitches for Kato through his 4 innings of work. Our friend Yampa Bros says, do we stick with the Fighters? Oh, I am. It's hard. I might even stick to the Fighters with 2 out down to their final strike if they were losing as well. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to Tyra. Lefty double clutches and delivers. Fastball misses down, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Kitaro Kiyomiya will go into the 5 spot in the batting order. As the lefty Kato again double clutches and delivers. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 1-2. One of the things that I was looking at with Kato is he doesn't strike out the batters at the clip that he used to. He has to be a little bit more delicate with where he throws his pitches, a little bit more accurate as the double clutch comes again. And there's a fastball swung on and missed, and that, as we are sort of alluding to, that is the second strikeout of the night for Kato, and in the books is Tyra for out number 1. I'll bring up the catcher in Hikaru Oda. Well, for Oda, he reached on an error his first time up. He's officially 0 for 1. It was a ground ball to the shortstop that Mizuno got handcuffed on. And the first pitch breaking ball misses outside for ball 1. Count is 1-0 to Oda. Oda not known for his hitting, but he is a stalwart behind the plate for the Eagles. There's a slow breaking ball that just misses outside. The count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Lefty kicks and delivers. There's a slow breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 2-1 on Oda. Fastball swung on him, missed, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, the lefty Kato double clutches. He kicks and fires. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted in the air into left center field. Moving over underneath it is the center fielder of the Fires, the Hosokawa, who's going to make the grab, and that's going to retire Oda for the second out of the inning. That'll leave it up to the shortstop in Rui Murayama. Kato, we were talking about him at the top of the stream, has already matched his career high in wins. He's got 10. Victory here tonight would put him to 11 on the season, and I certainly wouldn't have had that on my bingo card at the beginning of the year. There's a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. He has been a steady innings eater for the Fighters during his career, as the pitch is a fastball swung on and missed. Not necessarily overpowering, does mix his pitch as well, is able to hit his spots. That's a nice, effective job of keeping hitters off balanced. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into deep left field. In front of the warning track, now coming back in is Gunji. He's there to make the catch, and that is going to do it as the Eagles go quietly here in their half of the 5th inning. Half of the game is now in the books. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now moving to the bottom of the 5th inning. Your score is Eagles 2, Fighters 1. Our friend Roly Poly was in here earlier telling us that the over-under was at 7. I wonder what it's at now. Our friend Harrison is in the house. Look out, everybody. It is going to be wild times here tonight. We'll be back in just a few with all the action right after this. Your score is the Eagles with a 2-1 lead over the Fighters as we move to the bottom of the 5th inning. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with all the action after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be coming to bat here in the bottom of the 5th inning. It'll be the top of the order. It'll be Mizuno, Gunji, and Reyes. Our friend Epic Boy asked the question, what do you usually watch the game on? Well, there's one thing we didn't do tonight is to give everybody at the top of the stream, sometimes we give you a list of locations, depending on where you're at globally, where you can pick up the games. And we'll do that for you in just a moment. There is a first pitch breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is quickly 1-0 to Mizuno. Mizuno has accounted for the only run tonight for the Fighters with that leadoff home run on the first pitch of the ball game that the Fighters saw. As the pitch is on the way, there is a fastball swung on. It is grounded to the right side of the infield. Oh, what a play by Asamura, diving to his right, flips from his knees, and that is going to retire Mizuno on a ground out 3-1 as the pitcher Shoji over to cover. So one gone away here. So if you're looking for it online, the Hokkaido Cultural Broadcasting 1 or Gaora Sports, if you're in an area where you can get it on TV. If you're doing online streaming, well, DAZN, Rakuten TV, and Baseball Live are your options. Hopefully that works for you. So that is where you can find the game here tonight at your disposal. So that's going to bring Yuya Gunji to the plate. He is 1 for 2 tonight. He's got a single in 2 trips. As the pitch is a breaking ball that misses down. Yeah, Harrison says you need a VPN. Amazon, I don't believe, has got this one here tonight. They do carry it Amazon Prime sometimes. And I will say this, Amazon Prime in Japan, if you've got a VPN, you're probably not going to get it anyway. And the pitch is a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count goes to 1-1. Amazon Prime Japan, they will tell you that you have they've detected a third party, whatever you want to call it. And they know that you're using a VPN, and they won't show you the game. Amazon's smart, I guess. There's a breaking ball that misses inside, and the count now goes to 2-1. Friend Harrison is celebrating monthly anniversaries with his girlfriend. That's great. Talk to us in 25 years, Harrison, and then we will be impressed. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right field. Racing back, leaping up at the warning track and making the catch is the right fielder Nakajima. Oh boy, Gunji sent it for a long way, but just not deep enough. And Gunji's retired for the second out of the inning. So 2 gone here, and that's going to leave it up to the designated hitter in Franmil Reyes. We were talking about the over-unders for the ball game, the over-unders for the first 5. Epic Boy says, does Rakuten TV only have Rakuten games? That's a good question. Yeah, I also got to remember that the Monkeys in Taiwan are also sponsored by Rakuten, as that fastball misses down to Reyes. 1 ball and no strikes. Reyes batting from the right side here. He has a single in 2 trips. He was caught looking his last time, and the pitch on the way is a split-figure pitch, misses down, and the count is 2-0. So I wonder what the over-under for the first 5 innings would have been in this one at the outset. I'm sure it's changed now. My guess, it would have probably been maybe 3.5 or possibly 4.5 at the get-go. So here's the pitch from Shoji. It's a breaking ball down, backhanded by the catcher. 3 balls and no strikes to Reyes. Chusei Minami waiting his time on deck. Harrison says the Farm League games aren't on. Is that aren't on tonight or aren't on in general? So 3 balls and no strikes as Shoji kicks and delivers. Fastball swung on, 3-0, green lighted. And Reyes pops it up down the right field line, coming over is Nakajima, and he's there to make the catch, and that is going to do it as the Fighters are going to be retired quietly and in order here in the 5th inning. So we've had some pretty quick innings here. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. Your scores, we're now through 5 complete. It is the Eagles with a 2-1 lead over the Fighters. And for those of you who have just joined us, well, it is what we like to call our Japanese halftime. We are going to be going to the 6th inning. They like to take a 5-minute break in between the 5th and the 6th. They'll come out and fix the field. They'll gussy it all up. The cheerleaders will come out and shake their money makers, and we'll be back in just a bit with all the action. Your score, Eagles 2, Fighters 1, top of the 6th around the corner, and we'll keep you entertained with a little bit of music, and we'll return in a bit. Welcome back, everybody. We're moving to the top of the sixth inning, and the starter, Takashi Kato, has just finished, or Takayuki Kato has just completed his tune-up tosses. It'll be the top of the order, Nakajima, Yasuda, and Tatsumi to face them here. And the first pitch is a center cut fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Nakajima 0 for 2 tonight. He is grounded to short and bounced into a 4-6-3 double play. He has played some sparkling defense in right field tonight as he swings at a breaking ball in the dirt. And the count now goes to 0-2. 2-1, the Eagles have the lead here over the Fighters. And the way this game has gone, I'm still sticking to the Fighters. I don't trust the Eagles, as I do think that the Fighters are the team to beat in this one here. Fastball down, the count goes to 1-2. We were asked earlier on what we think of the bullpens, and I personally think that Shoji is going to have to give them a solid 7 innings or more if they are going to pick up a victory in this one. Here's the pitch, 1-2 on the way. Breaking ball waved at and missed, and Kato has recorded his third strikeout of the evening. It's his second in as many innings. And Nakajima gone for the first out here in inning number 6. That's going to bring up Yuma Yasuda to the plate. Well, for Yasuda, he is 1 for 2 tonight. He broke the ice with a solo shot in the 4th inning. He's got a home run and a ground out to his name. It's his 3rd homer of the year. And he deposited into the right field seats. And the first pitch is a fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the first base side. Count is quickly 0-1 to Yasuda. Left-hander against the left-hander as Kato kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that comes inside and runs Yasuda off the plate. The count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. Lefty Kato again double clutches and delivers. There's a breaking ball waved at and missed. Yasuda was way out in front of that one. Count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, the lefty Kato kicks and delivers. A breaking ball that is tap foul over on the first base side. The count now goes, or remains at 1-2. He's got that double clutch. So if you guys remember Nasty Nestor Cortez, who had pitched in the big leagues, he has that same sort of delivery. He's got a 1 pump, a 2 pump, and then he delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on, grounded softly to second. Fielded on the run by Kamikawabata. He throws to first, and Yasuda in the books on a ground out 4-3. So 2 up and 2 away here in the 6th inning, and that is going to bring up the center fielder in Ryosuke Tatsumi. That is now 6 in a row retired by the lefty Kato, as he has made quick work of the Golden Eagles last couple innings here. Tatsumi tonight officially 0 for 2. He has struck out and flown to left in his 2 trips. And the first pitch, breaking ball, waved at and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Again, the lefty kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that just misses outside. Count 1-1. As I said tonight, Kato working extremely quick. I don't remember him working as quick as this, but boy, he gets the ball. He's ready to go. There's a fastball swung on and fouled off into the feet of the hitter. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Tatsumi. A wonderful 10-1 record for Kato. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. And it's a breaking ball swung on and missed. And Tatsumi's down on strikes. And again, the Golden Eagles go in order here. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We're moving to the bottom of the 6th inning. This game is skipping along now. Your score is the Golden Eagles 2 and the Fighters 1. Bottom of the 6th, just around the corner. Hang with us, everybody. We'll be back with the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel call. We return after this timeout. Welcome back to everybody. It is a scoreline of 2-1. Our friend Eagles are the away team. That is correct. They are batting first. They only have 3 more trips to the plate to make something happen. As their starting pitcher, Shoji, has given them 70 pitches through his 5 innings of work. It is going to be Manami, Kiyomiya, and Nomura to come to bat here in inning number 6. So the tall, lanky right-hander ready to get things going again. Manami today 0 for 2. He bounced into a fielder's choice, and he has grounded out in his 2 trips. His average is dipped to 268. Lots of firepower in this batting order here for the Fighters, as the pitch to Manami is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. The starters tonight, Nomura, Manami, and Reyes, each with double-digit home runs. Now Kiyomiya in the lineup to replace Yoshida. And he as well has got some juice in the stick. There's a breaking ball, waved that and missed. The count now goes to 0-2 on Manami. So no balls and 2 strikes. As we mentioned earlier, we will announce at some point tomorrow which game that we're going to do. We're leaning toward Dragons and Bay Stars tomorrow night. So if you're in the neighborhood, be sure to pop in and check it out. That game will go off at 9:30 Pacific or 12:30 Eastern. There's a breaking ball that misses down. It's down in the dirt. Swung on by Manami and missed. Manami says he fouled it off, but umpire checked the baseball, and to no such effect as the case, Manami has a walk back to the dugout on 3 pitches. He's gone for out number 1. That'll bring up Kotaro Kiyomiya to the plate. Yepis says, yeah, he's for the Fighters as well. Yeah, I think the Fighters, it's just the Eagles, I think the rest of the way, if you're putting money down on it, I'm against the Eagles all the way. There's a fastball that's taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Globe nose ball. Appreciate you for listening in. Fastball that misses, and the count goes to 1-1. Yeah, unfortunately, we had quite a bit of time off at the. We were off for about the last 6 weeks, and it's some of it is just work related around here. We haven't taken that long of a break in the past, and I'm going to be doing one tomorrow, and then I got to get flying across the country. There's a fastball swung on and grounded foul. Count goes to 1-2. I might try to squeeze 1 or 2 in next weekend. I'm not sure yet. All-star games are in the middle of the week. Definitely won't be doing those, but we'll see if we can come up with a ball game to be able to do that with everybody else. Here comes the 1-2 pitch to Kiyomiya. Fastball down. Good stop there by the catcher, Oda, and the count now is gone to 2 balls and 2 strikes. As the right-hander Shoji ready to go again, here comes the 2-2 offering. Kicks and fires. Fastball swung on, grounded to the right side. Oh, it takes a wicked hop right up into the midsection of the second baseman, Murray Biashi. He had to leap up to stay with it, and he fires over to first to retire Kiyomiya. It's a ground out 4-3. I have to go back and look at the replay on that one. I don't know if it caught the lip of the grass on the back side of the infield. So the lip of the grass between the dirt and the outfield side made it a crazy hop, but I guess we're not going to get the replay on that one just yet. That's going to bring Yuki Nomura to the plate. As the right-hander delivers, there is a fastball swung on. It is foul. I am headed to Detroit on Wednesday. That fastball is swung on and fouled away. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Unfortunately, I don't think the Tigers are in town that weekend. Sometimes I always try to grab a Tiger game if I can. There's a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count goes even to 1-1 on Nomura. Tigers are in town this weekend. They play the Royals, are in the midst of a series, and I think they've got another series at home before they go on the road. There's a breaking ball swung on, grounded over to short. Fielded neatly by the shortstop Murayama. He throws to first, and Nomura's gone, and 2/3 of this game is now gone in the books, as that is going to do it here for the Fighters in their half of the 6th inning. They go in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. Your scores were now through 6 complete. It is the Eagles with a 2-1 lead over the Fighters. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call in just a few, right after this musical timeout. It is 2-1 Eagles when we come back.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball.
That's right, everybody. We know baseball, and we know we are headed to the top of inning number 7, and it is going to be the heart of the order for the Eagles to come to bat. Carson McCusker, Itsuki Muribayashi, and Hideto Asamura. The 4, 5, and 6 hitters coming to bat here. I think we're going to have to go for some throat lozenges at the end of this half inning, as the voice is starting to get a little bit raspy, a little bit out of the groove. And that's unfortunate. Cato's night is done. I'm a little surprised by that. I would have thought they would have taken him in for another inning. They are going to the bullpen, are the Fighters. A little bit early in my books. It's going to be Seiji Tanaka coming in relief, as he will take over here for Cato. So Cato's night is done, and Tanaka on the hill, especially with the 2-1 lead here. I know McCusker, Muribayashi, and Asamura, though combined, they have gone 3 for 5 against the starter tonight, and that might be a reason why. There was a first pitch fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-1 to McCusker. McCusker 1 for 2 tonight. He's got a double in 2 trips. He did score the first run of the game for the Golden Eagles. But I would have thought the way that the lefty Cato was cruising along, we would have seen him again. He had retired 7 in a row. Fastball at 95 misses, and the count is 1-1 to McCusker. But that is the way the baseball seems to go these days. It's infecting the Japanese league as well. There's a fastball missing down and away, and the count is 2-1. Early exits by the starters. Lumen Code says, his hope for the Fighters winning is fading. And I think you're still got 3 innings to go here. There's a fastball swung on and missed, and the count goes to 2-2. Although when you're down by a run, getting into this part of the ball game, you start to get a little bit more concerned. But got to get into that Eagles bullpen. The Eagles bullpen would be a sight for sore eyes for the Fighters. And to think about it, how they had the bases loaded in the first inning, and all they could come away with was 1 run. Fastball swung on and fouled away. The count remains at 2s to McCusker. That's the way it goes sometimes in baseball. That's baseball for you. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, Tanaka nodding in agreement with his catcher as he rocks and delivers. Fastball swung on and missed. McCusker couldn't catch up to it. He's gone on strikes for out number 1. And that is going to bring up the second baseman, and it's Itsuki Muribayashi. Nice job there by Tanaka to walk the ladder. Do the heat right by McCusker. Well, that brings Murray Biashi to the plate. He has a pair of hits tonight. He's got a single and a double, so half of the Eagles' hits belong to Murray Biashi. First pitch fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Biashi batting from the right side. He's pulled his season average up to 290. Breaking ball swung on, grounded to short. Mizuno fields it. Nice play by him. Fires on the run, and that's going to ground out Murray Biashi on a ground out 6-3 for out number 2. It's going to bring up the first baseman in Hideto Asamura. Well, for Asamura, he's officially 0 for 1 tonight. He has a sacrifice fly, drove in the first run of the game, and he flew out to left field in his 2 trips as the right-hander Tanaka kicks and fires. Fastball misses up and away for ball 1. Count is 1-0. Tanaka, who has been used as a closer during his time with the Fighters, delivers a fastball on the outside corner for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. So one thing with the big boss you find is that Shinjo really doesn't care where he uses his guys. He just uses them where he sees fit. There's a fastball that misses up, and the count now goes to 2-1. When you look at Tanaka this season anyway, as there's a breaking ball that misses down and away, he's only got 1 save, so he hasn't used him in the closing role like he did a couple of years ago. He had 25 saves in the 2023 season, 20 saves in 2024, had 13 last year. And now more in the setup role. There's a fastball that misses in the left-handed batter's box, and Asamura is aboard with a 2-out walk, and that's going to bring up the third baseman in Ryuya Taira. I guess take your chances with Taira as opposed to Asamura. So 2 gone here, runner at first. That is the first base runner. That the Eagles have had in 10 batters that have come to the plate. A streak of 9 in a row retired between the starter Kato and Tanaka has come to an end. So Taira batting at 251, waits on the first pitch. It is a breaking ball that misses down. And now all of a sudden Tanaka has forgotten how to throw strikes. So 1 ball and no strikes it is to Taira. Right-hander nodding in agreement, gets the sign that he likes, and now he's ready to go back to work. Here's the 1-0. Fastball misses way outside, and the count now goes to 2-0. So 6 of the last 7 pitches delivered have been for balls. And now Kotaro Kiyomiya has come in to have a little word with Tanaka. So 2 balls and no strikes as the right-hander works set, now delivers. Fastball center cut for a called strike. So whatever Kiyomiya has said has worked, as he has delivered the much-needed strike here to the Eagles hitter Taira. Here comes the 2-1. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses outside. Better get Kiyomiya back in there again and whisper something else into his ear. 3 balls and 1 strike to Taira. Waiting his turn on deck is the catcher Hikaru Oda. I wonder if we'd see a pinch hitter for him at this point in the game, should the Eagles put 2 on. There's a fastball swung on and missed, and Tanaka walked the ladder on Taira, and Taira went after it and couldn't hold up, or couldn't get piece of it in that spot. So 3 balls and 2 strikes it is. Runner's going to be on the move once the pitch goes to the plate. As the right-hander holds himself to the set, here comes the full count pitch. On its way, fastball swung on and fouled straight back. Taira was right on the pitch. And the count remains at 3-2. Right-hander against the right-hander. Tyra 0 for 2 in this one's popped to the catcher, as well as struck out in his 2 trips to the plate. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on. Grounded to the right side. Fielded by Kawabata. He throws to first. That's going to go in the books as a ground out, 4-3 for the third out of the inning. And the Eagles go quietly here in their half of the seventh. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 runner left to board. We're now getting ready for the 7th inning stretch. It is a 2-1 ball game as we move to the bottom half of inning number 7. It is Eagles in the lead. And we'll be back after this rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game, Japanese style.
Turn it up, don't turn it off. Turn me round, put me in my place. From there, I can see it all, so beautiful. The world is turning fast.
Welcome back, everybody. The first pitch delivered to Ryohei Hosokawa, taken for a called strike. And the count is quickly 0-1. 81 pitches in the 6 innings for Shoji. Hosokawa batting from the left side here. 0 for 1 tonight. Had that deep fly ball in inning 1 and walked his last time up. Takes a split finger pitch down. The count goes to 1-1. Hosokawa, Kawabata, and Shinto, the hitters slated to come to bat here in inning number 7. As we are getting a little bit late in the ball game for the fighters to have to do something. 1-1 pitch on the way. Breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes is a 12-6 breaking ball that just dropped right in. Nice pitch there by Shoji. There was a fastball down. Good stop there by Oda. Runs the count now to 2-2. If you just joined us, well, the ball game got going tonight. The first run of the game came in the bottom of the first inning. A home run off the bat of Tatsuki Mizuno on the first pitch he saw from Shoji, giving the fighters an early 1-0 lead. Eagles responded in the second after a double by McCusker, as that fastball just misses to Hosokawa. The count runs 3-2. A single by Murray Biashi and a sac fly by off the bat of Asamura tied the game at 1. And in the top of the 4th inning, Yuma Yasuda deposited a solo shot into the right center field seats, give the Eagles a 2-1 lead, and that is where we stand. There's a fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats down the left field line, and the count remains at 3-2 to Hosokawa. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. And that at bat now by Hosokawa in the first inning, where he sent Tatsumi all the way to the warning track, making a catch with his back to the infield. could be a difference in this one. There's a fastball swung on. This is lifted to deep left center field. And Tatsumi racing back. He leaps and it's off his glove. It goes all the way to the wall. And cruising into second base is going to be Hosokawa with a leadoff double here. I don't think they're going to rule that as an error. That would be pretty harsh on Tatsumi. He was racing back. He had to leap up and he couldn't get it. It was off his glove. I'll see what the official scorer has to say, but as far as I'm concerned, that was not an easy play. It was just right off the tip of the glove. So Hosokawa coming hard out of the box ends up at second base. That's going to bring up the second baseman in Daigo Kawabata. So that might be the tonic that the fighters need. I would think that maybe a little small ball action here. Not like either of these two hitters are dynamite, although that Kawabata 1 for 2 tonight. He's already scoring the bunt, so we have anticipated correctly. He's batting .233 on the year. Shoji kicks and delivers. It is bunted and it's popped up foul. Oh boy. Fortunate for Kawabata as that ball has got all the way to the backstop. So no balls and 1 strike to him. One would have to think that moving him over to third gets them 90 feet away from scoring the tying run. And then I forget the number of ways that you could score from third. It's exponential. It's like 13, 17, something like that. Balk, wild pitch. There's a bunt. It's down the third base line, and it's just going to roll foul. It's now 0-2 to Kawabata. We're going to see if the big boss is going to keep the bunt on here with 2 strikes. Got to get the job done. Whether he swings the bat or bunts, Kawabata, I think I'd be keeping it on here in this situation. You got to get it in play, and you got to get the job done to get him over. Might as well keep it going. You may have a pinch hitter moving into the on-deck circle for Shinto. We'll have to take a look there. 91st pitch coming here to the left-handed hitting Kawabata. Shoji delivers. Fastball swung on it. It's chopped foul over on the first base side, so the bunt is off. It's now 0-2 here. Fastball, but it was of the split finger variety, but that ball really didn't have a lot of depth to it. It was more of the arm side run of the pitcher was going away from the hitter. And it really wasn't your traditional split finger where it was really just straddling one seam. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Fastball down. And, that's a nice stop there by Oda. As it trickled up in front of the plate, the count is 1-2 to Kawabata. If you've just joined us, fighters find themselves trailing the Eagles 2-1 here in the bottom of the 7th. A leadoff knock off the bat of Hosokawa has him at second base with nobody out. Important part of the ball game here if you pick the fighters. And it was ruled double, by the way. Even though it went off the glove of the center fielder, there's a ground ball hit softly to the first baseman, Asamura. He's going to flip it to pitcher covering. That's going to advance Hosokawa over to third. Ground out 3-1 for the first out of the inning. High fives all the way around as Kawabata gets the job done, moving the runner along. We're just going to take a quick peek here to see if we are going to get ourselves a pinch hitter. Who are the fighters sending to the plate? Yeah, it does look like they are going to be sending a pinch hitter here. It looks like it's Taiki Narama. So Narama to come to hit for Shinto. We have a conference on the mound as the pitching coaches come out to have a word here with Shoji. So one thing I would think about with Narama coming into the ballgame is, are we going to see a safety squeeze or a suicide squeeze here? Narama can handle the bat pretty good, but is this going to be the situation for that? I wonder if they'll discuss that, or if that would be something in the discussion. So Narama in here to pinch hit. On the season, Narama's batting .252. He's got 4 homers and 18 RBIs. He has spent his entire career with the Fighters, all 4 seasons at the NPB level. The 26-year-old batting from the right side. Pitch on the way. Split fingers, swung on and missed. Count is quickly 0-1. It'll be the top of the order at Mizuno, who waits his turn on deck. Turning point in the ball game right here. Fighters looking to push the tying run across here against the Golden Eagles. So no balls and 1 strike. Shoji working to the set. Here comes the pitch. Fastball swung on. It is lifted down the left field line, but it's going to hook foul into the seats. The count now goes to 0-2 on Narama. Narama was way out in front of that one. I think he would have wanted that one back. I don't think it would have been deep enough to have got the run in anyway, had that ball stayed in fair territory. So no balls and 2 strikes. Narama hitting from the right side here as Shoji trying to get out of this pickle. Pitch number 96 of the ball game coming up, and it's on its way. Breaking ball misses in the left-handed batter's box. Count goes to 1-2 on Narama. So if you guys have just joined us, it is a heck of a ball game here, and one of quick pace as well up to this point. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the pinch hitter Narama. The runner at third is Hosokawa, 1 gone here in the 7th. Right-hander again holds to the set, checks the runner. Now he kicks and delivers. Fastball swung on. This could be deep enough to get a run in. Over is Tatsumi. There's going to be a throw. Tagging at third, coming home. The throw to the plate. Is it in time? And it is not going to be in time as the umpire has ruled him safe. I wonder if they're going to go to VAR on this one just out of principle. We'll see what the manager Yoshi is going to do. But that is a RBI right now. And that is exactly what it is. An RBI sacrifice fly off the bat of Narama. Good throw by Tatsumi as Hosokawa has scored. And the ball game is all back to square. We are now tied at 2. And our friend Samurai Prayer in the house, we appreciate you for being here as well. We'll get a look at the replay again. Actually, is a good piece of running there by the base runner Hosokawa to avoid the tag. The throw was slightly up the line on the third base side. He was able to get around nicely around the tag. There was a first pitch breaking ball to Mizuno that's taken for ball 1. Count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. So we got a brand new ball game all over again here. And so back to the original question. I'm biting my nails for the bullpen of the Eagles if they have to go to it in the next inning. Split finger pitch is swung on and missed, and the count goes to 1-1. So ironically, everything revolves around Tatsumi. Tatsumi had the ball go off his glove, ended up in a double, and then he wasn't able to throw the runner out at the plate. As that pitch misses down, the count goes to 2-1 on Mizuno. That was pitch number 100 delivered by Shoji. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Mizuno. The right-hander, again, working himself into the delivery. Breaking ball swung on, popped up behind home plate. Giving chase is Oda, but he's going to watch it sail into the seats. And the count now 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's been a fun one here tonight as the Fighters playing some entertaining baseball, as have the Eagles. Eagles have really given them all they can handle here tonight. Here comes the 2-2 to Mizuno. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, it is a split finger pitch swung on and fouled off into the catcher Oda. And the count remains at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes it is. Well, there's going to be a change behind the plate. I'm curious to see who is going to behind the dish for the Fighters. Will it be Tamiya? Well, I guess we'll wait and see. There's a split figure pitch down. 3 balls and 2 strikes now to Mizuno. Looks like Shoji is starting to run out of some steam here. Manager Yoshi sticking with him here. Trying to let him get through the 7th inning. So here comes the 3-2 pitch. Shoji ready to go back into the delivery. As he kicks and fires, breaking ball swung on. It is chopped softly down the third base line, but there's a little bit of English on it, and it is going to roll foul. The battle will continue here with Mizuno as it's still going to remain at 3 balls and 2 strikes. For those of you who did just join us, we will make our announcement at some point later tomorrow, but we're leading for the Dragons and the Bay Stars tomorrow night. That game will go off at 9:30 Pacific or 12:30 a.m. Eastern if you're up and are thinking about coming back in North America to listen to some more Japanese baseball. So 3 balls and 2 strikes it is. As the pitch is on the way, it's a split-fingered pitch that is swung on and missed, and that is going to retire Mizuno for the 3rd out of the inning. That is going to do it here for the Fighters in their half of the 7th inning. But they do get a run back. 1 run in the inning on 1 hit. There was no errors, and there was nobody left the board. We are now through 7 complete. Your score is the Eagles 2 and the Fighters 2. Our friend Samurai Prayer said he was kind of worried about us. Well, 2 things. Number 1 is we have a lot of work that we were doing over here. Tons of work, as a matter of fact, and it was just getting in the way of doing the broadcasts. And then the other part is we'll do tonight, we'll do tomorrow. And then I've got to head back east because we've got some challenges with my pops. So he is not doing too good. We're going to go in and see how he's doing and try to keep up with him. So that's where we're at. But we're here tonight and we'll be here tomorrow. So that's what's important. And after that, we'll have to see what next week will look like. Right back, everybody. It is the Eagles 2 and the Fighters 2. Top of the 8th is just around the corner.
Like it's delirium, ay, ay, like it's delirium, ay, I got delirium, ay, like it's delirium, yeah, yeah, like it's delirium. She just wanna bounce to it, baby, get your giddy on. Walk up to the stage with a drink like I'm Giveon, but I never came here to sing what I'm really on. Giving dividends, I'm trying to boost your career and all. Know you got a binge, you ain't got one with the ceiling gone. If you wanna get it gone, give me the experience. Make me a believer like a feature at the cinema. Then we gotta keep it all the secret like the Pentagon. All these people times, people.
Welcome back, everybody. We'll take care of a little bit of order here. It is going to be Sun Eli who is coming on in relief. The Taiwanese right-hander is going to be taking over here for Seiji Tanaka, so he will come on in relief. So Sun Eli is on in relief here. We do have a change. It does look like it is, as I expected. Yua Tamiya is going to be coming in, and Narama is going to take over defensively. I believe that he will be taking over at second base for Kawabata, but I'm not really sure. I have to double check on that, and we'll get that for you as it comes available. And slated to come to bat is supposed to be Oda, but we're going to have a pinch hitter for him, as this is going to be number 24, and that is Fumiya Kurakawa, was pinch hitting here for Oda in the 8th inning. The first pitch was taken for a called strike, and then there's a fastball swung on and fouled away. And Kurakawa is in the hole quickly at 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to Kurakawa. Batting from the left side here against the right-hander Sunyi Lai. Fastball just misses outside, and the count now goes to 1-2. That last pitch was at 158 kilometers an hour. So if you're keeping up with us at home, it was at 97 on the gun. The right-hander Lai delivers. There's a fastball swung on and missed. Boy, he dialed that up. And then the books is Kurakawa. That is the first out of the inning here for the Golden Eagles. And that'll bring up the shortstop in Rui Muniyama. So for Muniyama, he is 0 for 2 tonight. He has flown out to left field in both of his trips to the plate. In the top of the 8th inning, it is the Eagles who are at bat, as there's a first pitch fastball taken for a called strike. The visitors are the ones who hit first. So no balls and 1 strike to Muniyama. Muniyama's average has dropped to 173. Fastball swung on, and he's got to punch that through the 6 hole into left field, and he's aboard with a 1-out single, and that'll bring up the top of the order in Daisuke Nakajima. Good piece of hitting there by the shortstop of the Golden Eagles, being able to stay inside the ball and go the other way with it. So that brings Nakajima to the plate. He's officially 0 for 3 tonight. He's grounded to short, grounded into a 4-6-3 double play, and struck out in his 3 trips to the plate. This is the first time that he is facing somebody other than Kato. And the first pitch on the way, it is a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is quickly 0-1. I was taking a look at a bit about Sunyi Lai. As we said, he is a Taiwanese professional player, or from Taiwan. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball that bounces up to the plate. Good stop there by the catcher, Tamiya. Runs the count even to 1-1. He signed with the Fighters in May of 2025. It was the same day he made his professional debut against the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses outside, and the count goes to 2-1. That's the one thing that you don't get a lot of. I often find that it's going to be a bit of a problem. His son is the younger brother of the TSG Hawks, the Kaohsiung Hawks, which is Yishen's son. Pitch on the way, fastball swung on, lifted foul down the left field line. That's going to make its way into the seats, and that's going to run the count even to 2-2 now. He's only 21 years old. He's from Taipei, Taiwan. He signed a 4-year deal with the Fighters worth around 90 million yen. So you have to do the quick math on what that turns out to be. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Fastball misses down, and the count now goes full to Nakajima. You say that son is of, I guess if I say this incorrectly, Amish descent, also known as Pangka, which means people or kinsmen, as they are indigenous to Taiwan. And you see that in the south, that there's more indigenous folks in the south of Taiwan. Fastball swung on, sliced down the left field line, and it is just going to slice foul into the corner. It's going to keep the count at 3-2 to Nakajima. Had that ball landed fair, Muniyama would have had a pretty good chance to maybe score all the way from first base. Our friend R. Blockson says, where can I watch this game? Well, if you go back in our stream, we gave a whole list of stuff back in the 5th inning. It gives you both television options and online options of where you may be able to find the game. So if you're going back at that time, that's where that would be. So somebody was saying Australian dollars, about 600,000 US. That sounds about right. Thinking American dollars, I think $1 US gets you around, about 130 yen these days, 140 yen. There's a ground ball hit softly over to third. They're going to have to hurry. Nice play by the third baseman, Nomura, to fire over to first. Nakajima's retired. A ground out 5-3. He's in the books for the second out of the inning. Moving into scoring position is Muniyama. So 2 gone here, and that's going to leave it up to Yuma Yasuda. The question is, do you make money commentating? Well, tonight somebody left us $3 in the super chats, but for the most part, we just enjoy being able to provide you guys with some commentary at our end. We're glad you guys could make it in here tonight and hang out with us. So they have a conference on the mound as Yuma Yasuda is slated to come to the plate. We're asking about what it is, US dollars to yen. Basically, it's actually 163 yen for every US dollar. So we said it was 90 million. And so that contract would be about $550,000 US for a 4-year deal. So that's pretty much a sweet deal for a young right-hander like this with a power arm like he's showing here tonight. Fastball swung on and taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. If he pitches like this, you got to think that there is going to be a market for his services in a couple of years' time. I think it was in 2025, I think they said, or was it 24 that he'd signed? Here's the pitch. Fastball misses upstairs. The count goes to 1-1. A lot to like about this right-hander. Friend Don says he is listening from Texas. Thank you for doing that. And CA Jr., we thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you guys tonight for chipping in. There's the pitch. Fastball swung on and lifted foul down the left field line, and the count goes to 1-2 on Yasuda. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Yasuda. The runner at second is Muniyama. There's 2 gone here in the top of the 8th inning. We are locked up at 2s. This game has had a pretty quick pace to it up until about the last maybe 20 minutes or so. CA says, let's go Eagles. Now, the Eagles are definitely struggling on the season. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats down the third base line, and the count remains at 1-2. It's not been a good year for them by any stretch. Gone through a manager already and a whole bunch of other players. That's one thing, too, that Luke Voigt was with them at the beginning of the year, and I have to be honest, I haven't been on the stream for the last little bit. He was not having a good year after coming over and really giving him a good shot in the arm last year with some power. Last time I looked, he was buried down in the farm. Fastball misses outside, and the count now goes even to 2-2 on Yasuda. Yasuda has the home run that had given the Eagles a 2-1 lead at the time. He also has a couple of groundouts. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. You can just see that sun is dripping with sweat. wonder what the temperature on the field inside the dome would be in Hokkaido. There's a fastball that just misses inside. It's now gone to 3-2 on Yasuda. Waiting on deck is Ryosuke Tatsumi. Don asks a basketball question. Any thoughts on LeBron joining the 76ers? Probably two teams that aren't going anywhere. Or two things that aren't going anywhere. LeBron, $8 million for 2 years. Probably make more money in jersey sales. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. And then he does the old spaghetti move over there at second base, the inside move, and it chases the runner back to the bag as Muniyama was starting to wander off a little bit further there. So here we're going to do the 3-2 pitch all over again. Here comes the offering. Kick on the way. Fastball swung on, lifted into center field. They had him played shallow. It's going to get over the head and all the way to the wall. That's going to get a run in. Chasing it down is the center fielder Hosokawa, and stopping at second is Yasuda with a double. They had to play shallow because a base hit would have meant that they would have had to try to throw the runner out at the plate. So let's see what's going on here. Yeah, the Yasuda smacks the double over the head of the center fielder Hosokawa. It is now a 3-2 lead for the Eagles. So let's see how this chess match is going to be going, because Shoji was going to be the one. That's going to be the end of the night for Sun. We're going to have a pitching change. So his night is over. So we're going to cross him out, see what the fighters come in with. Sun is on his way to the dugout, not a happy guy. Yasuda, the big night tonight with his second RBI of the ball games, cashing in Muniyama. Hang on, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple of moments here with all the action. It is now a 3-2 lead for the Golden Eagles, and we'll be back right after this timeout. And a stop from our good friend Steve Rademacher checking in as we have ourselves a pitching change.
Hey, where are you going? It's a pitching change. Come on, sit back down. You don't go out there. Don't go get no food or anything. You've got a big decision. Are you gonna throw in there Rollie Fingers? Maybe Goose Gossage? How about maybe Mariano Rivera or Lee Smith, Dennis Eckersley? Who knows? It's a pitching change. Come on back. You know who I would pick for this? A nice, tall, cool one. There's my pitcher. That's my pitching change. That's a winning combination. Come see my channel. You know, every day is opening day. And according to Bob, I must be in front row. Blah.
Welcome back, everybody. That's our good friend Steve. He'll keep you entertained all the time. Our friend Nick 8B in the house says, let's go Eagles. And of course, Steve showing our Aussie friends some love by having a beer. Unfortunately, it's an American beer, so it doesn't really constitute being a real beer because of the alcohol content is a little bit on the light side. Well, that's why you have to drink a little bit more, I guess. So it is a pitching change, and we are going to a left-hander. Here are the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters as they are bringing out number 34, and that is going to be Mizuki Hori, who is taking over in relief. He'll be the third pitcher used now the fourth pitcher used. So Mizuki Hori on in relief here for the fighters tonight. He'll be entrusted to have to face Ryosuke Tatsumi. Tatsumi tonight 0 for 3, has struck out twice and has flown out to left field. So he bats here with 2 gone and a runner on second base, which is Yuma Yasuda. As Hori ready to deliver. Now he kicks and fires. First pitch swinging as a fastball lifted foul into the seats down the left field line. And the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. It's been a busy night tonight on the channel, and we're glad you guys could be here with us. Eagles fighters, one more game after this tonight, and they go to the All-Star break. As the left-hander checks the runner at second, here comes the 0-1. Pitch on the way, fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 0-2. For our Australian listeners who like to pop into the stream, I'm going to try to get down under. My goal will be next year to get to the great country of Australia. As long as 2027 doesn't go absolutely insane in the Western Hemisphere. Breaking ball misses down and away, and the count goes to 1-2. I'd like to see what Australia is all about. Certainly the people, anybody that is Australian that we get in our neck of the woods, it's always a good time. So I'll have to make sure I check my liver and my kidney at the door before I enter Australia. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Fastball swung on, chopped softly over to the left side of the infield, fielded by Mizuno. The throw to first is in time. We may have a challenge here. And Mizuno had to go deep into the sixth hole. The first base umpire or the first base coach put his hands to his head like he couldn't believe the call. I got to tell you, I think Tatsumi is going to be out. Tatsumi got down the line in a hurry. We're going to get a look at the replay here. So the replay review is under. We'll get a look and we'll tell you what our thoughts are. Ball was chopped over to the left side. It was confusion because the third baseman had to get out of the way. Oh, I think it's the right call. I think the Eagles are going to lose this challenge. What a play by Mizuno. He had to avoid the third baseman and had to avoid the runner. We're getting a look now. No such thing as tie goes to the runner. Strikes and outs make the game go quicker, and the umpires are going to go up with the right hand. We got it on multiple angles, and I'm confident to say that that is going to be the third out of the inning. I almost want to go to the break right now. Nick says safe, I say out. And if he is safe, I want to redo. And there goes the right hand of the home plate umpire, and that is going to do it. A ground out 6-3 to end the inning. But the Eagles get an all-important run. There was one run in the inning on 2 hits. There was no errors, and there was one runner left aboard. We are moving to the bottom half of inning number 8. Your score is the Eagles 3 and the Fighters 2. Stay with us, everybody. The bottom of the 8th is just around the corner. It's a good one here tonight. We're glad we could be here to bring it with you as well. Stay tuned, everybody. It is the Fighters and the Eagles when we return after this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters to come to bat for the Fighters in inning number 8. That means Gunji, Reyes, and Manami. We're just waiting to see if it is still going to be Shoji on the hill or if the Eagles are going to their bullpen. We got the update yet, but I'm sure it is forthcoming in just a moment or so. As we mentioned earlier, tomorrow night on the channel, and it is going to be a reliever here, by the way. We'll take care of that business here first. It is going to be number 23. And that is going to be Junior Marte, who has just joined the ball club. So Junior Marte on in relief. Marte had spent some time in Major League Baseball. He was with the Cincinnati Reds this year, but able to opt out. He was with the Chinichi Dragons last year. He's with the Phillies in 23 and 24 and the Giants in 22. So the big right-hander delivers a first pitch fastball down and away to Gunji, and the count is quickly 1-0. Also a defensive change as Fumiya Kurakawa has gone into third base. He was hitting in the spot where Oda was. We'll have to get you the catching change as well. Gunji takes a fastball for a called strike. The count's 1-1. So Junior Marte in throwing bullets. Here comes the 1-1 pitch on the way. Another fastball center cut for a called strike, and the count goes to 1-2 on Gunji. I'm not sure what Gunji brought the bat to the plate for because he hasn't swung at anything yet that looks like a strike. So Junior Marte all around the dish. 31-year-old right-hander hails from Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. On its way. Fastball at the knees. Just misses outside, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the right-hander working to the set position, 2-2 on the way. Breaking ball swung on, lifted into straightaway center field. Backpedaling, underneath it is Tatsumi. He's there to make the catch. And Gunji is retired for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up the designated hitter in Franmil Reyes. Fighters have a lot of firepower in the lineup now with Reyes, Manami, Kiyomiya, and Nomura all in the batting order. Reyes hitting .327 on the year. He is officially 1 for 3 tonight. He's got a single in 3 trips. He's also struck out looking and flown to right. So Marte holds to the set now, delivers a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0 to Reyes. 1 ball and no strikes. Fighters are in the deep water now. The fans are urging them on. They've only got 5 outs left to play with. There is a fastball swung on it as chop foul over on the third base side. The count runs even to 1-1. They're definitely in the deep water. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Reyes. Fighter fans looking for some late inning magic as the 1-1 pitch on the way from Marte. Breaking ball misses down and away, and now the count goes to 2-1 on Reyes. So 2 balls and 1 strike. This game is done. We will give you the full roundup from around the NPB as there was a lot of early action. The other games get going in another hour or so time. There's a fastball swung on it. Is going to be looped over the head of the shortstop into left field. And Reyes has picked up his second hit of the ball game as he has himself a 1-out single. That is going to bring up the right fielder in Chusei Manami, and that is going to be the end of the night for Reyes as we're going to have a pinch runner for him. He's a strong man. He had to reach out and get that, and he hook barrel the ball over top of the shortstop. That takes some serious strength. And that is going to bring Ryo Isobata into the game to run for him. Isobata has got some serious wheels. So Manami is stepping up to the plate. Batting .267 on the year. He's got 18 homers and 46 runs driven in. And the first pitch to Manami is a fastball that ends up in the left-handed batter's box. And so 1 ball and no strikes to Manami. I got to say, if the Fighters are going to get him, this is the inning that they have to do it. You got speed on the base paths. You got power coming up to the plate. If the Fighters are going to win, this is where they have to do it now. Now or never. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and fouled straight back into the catcher. 1 ball and 1 strike it is to Manami. The change behind the plate is Kengo Horyuchi, if I've said that correctly, is taken over for Hikaru Oda. We're probably happy that he has left the game, as that ball, it was taken right on the chin of the face mask. So here comes the 1-1 pitch, but instead Marte flips it over to first, and diving back in time is Isobata. Interesting here. Isobata, as fast as he is, one would expect that he would be, or at least I would expect that he'd be a better base stealer than what he is. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on. There goes the runner down to second. The throw is not in time, and it is a stolen base by Isobata. I didn't get to see if that was a ball or a strike to Manami. So that moves him into scoring position. Throw is right on the money. Whew. Just was not quite there in time. He just got under the tag, and the tag was a little high. Got him at the knee. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. It was a strike to Chusei Manami on that last pitch. So ball and 2 strikes. And for Isobata, for those of you at home, that is his 9th stolen base of the year. I was saying you would think that he would be better. He has 12 attempts. He is running at a 75% clip. Off the pace of last year where he stole 25 bases, but he was also thrown out 10 times. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball misses down and away to Manami, and the count now goes even to 2-2. My friend Harrison says he's calling it a night. Unfortunate, Harrison. You're right in the midst of a good ball game right here. We got a 3-2 game for the Eagles. Fighters got a runner in scoring position. 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. I think he'd hold out for another inning or so. There's a fastball that misses down. It's now gone full to Manami. And Kentaro Kiyomiya waiting his turn on deck. And our friend, I'm not sure how do you say it, OTX, says, do you think the Eagles are going to win? Well, if you were in the stream from the get-go, I didn't pick the Eagles at all tonight. There's a fastball swung on. This ball's going to get looped into center field. It's down for a base hit. Tatsumi over to pick it up. Firing it in, it's going to get cut off. Isobata is going to stop at third. Manami is over at first. That's going to bring Kiyomiya to the plate. So they've got runners at the corners with 1 gone. And the Eagles are going to have a conference on the pitcher's mound. Looked like it was a 2-seam fastball that Manami was able to one-hand over the head of the second baseman in the right field. Tatsumi was playing fairly shallow, and he needed to play shallow because if he was any deeper than that, Isobata probably would have had a great chance to score. So Isobata, the runner at third. Manami, the runner at first. Kentaro Kiyomiya coming to the plate. He is 0 for 1 tonight. He came in and replaced Kengo Yoshida in the lineup back in the 5th inning. So he gets a chance to play the hero here potentially in this one. So Kiyomiya on the season, when he entered tonight's ball game, he was hitting .242 on the year with 11 homers and 35 runs driven in. Averages dipped down to .241 now. Batting from the left side. I guess the one thing he's got to do is stay out of the double play. It's corners and halves. The corners are in. The middles are halfway as they're going to try to turn 2 up the middle. As Marte works himself to the set. 1 gone here in the inning. And the first pitch to Kiyomiya is a fastball swung on and lifted foul down the left field line. It's going to reach the seats. Count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Jascom says, what's the score? Well, that's why we have a ticker running across the bottom of the feed. We update it at the end of each half inning, but the score is accurate right now. Here comes the 0-1 pitch as the right-hander Marte delivers. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the third base side. So Kiyomiya is now in the hole at 0-2. CA Junior 45 says we need a strikeout. Well, had the count 0-2 here. So Kiyomiya digs himself back in. Marte ready to go again. No balls and 2 strikes. The Fighters star looking to try to do some damage here. Here comes the 0-2. Pitch, fastball misses down and in, and the count now goes to 1-2. Entertaining ball game here tonight for certain. Maybe a little too entertaining if you are a fan of the Fighters. Eagles have played very well tonight. After that shaky first inning where they loaded the bases and only came away with 1, did the Fighters. It has been a good pitching performance by the Eagles. There's a fastball swung on. This is definitely deep enough. All the way back to the warning track and making a catch up against the wall. Tagging at third and heading home is Isabata, and we are all tied. It's going to be a sacrifice fly to center off the bat of Kiyomiya. And to score is Isabata, and it is now a 3-3 ball game. And it'll now bring Yuki Nomura to the plate. So the big guns of the Fighters get the job done to tie it up. 2 gone now here in the 8th inning. Runner at first is Manami, and that is going to bring Nomura to the plate. So for everybody who has been cheering on for the Eagles, it may not be the night. First pitch fastball to Nomura misses down for a ball, and the count is 1-0. And as I say that, I have a soft spot for the Eagles, but boy, oh boy, this year is, you're a fan of the Tohoku Ball Club. Whew. It is tough to watch. Here's the pitch. Split finger down, and the count goes now to 2-0 on Nomura. Eagles fans do not have a lot to cheer about with Tohoku. They've got 1 casualty of a manager already. We talked about that earlier. Lost a third of their starting staff in the offseason last year. Fastball swung on and missed as Tanaka and Norimoto took their act to the Giants. I mean, they're getting on in years, but still could produce and play. That's just the way it goes, I guess. But they're going to have to do some soul searching in the offseason and try to be able to bolster the roster, make a push for the playoffs, because their offense, some of the offensive players with the Golden Eagles are getting a little on the old side as well. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count goes to 3-1. 2 in particular I think of is Hideo Asamura, and the other is Daichi Suzuki. Had very nice careers, but their time is coming near an end. So 3 balls and 1 strike to Nomura. As the right-hander Marte kicks and delivers. Fastball swung on, lifted into right center field. This should do it. Over is the right fielder Nakajima. He's there to make the catch. And that is going to be the 3rd out of the inning, and we are going to go to the 9th, but we're going to be all locked up at 3s. 1 run in the inning on the benefit of 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. 8 complete innings in the books. It is the Eagles 3 and the Fighters 3. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the top of the 9th inning in just a couple of moments. We thank you guys for being with us. It is the Eagles and the Fighters when we return.
Find my way to you. Yeah. say that they won't when they will.
We have a scoreline of 3-3. We'll be back in just a couple of moments with all the action. I anticipate another pitching change for the Fighters, as it looks like a parade will start from the bullpens in this one. We'll be back in just a couple of moments right after this musical timeout. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be a right-hander taking over on the hill here for the Fighters. It is going to be Taisi Yanagawa, who is going to be pitcher number 5 used by the Fighters here in this one. Yanagawa is just completing his tune-up tosses, and we will be ready to get back to the action, as it is going to be Carson McCusker, Itsuki Moribayashi, and Hideto Asamura slated to come to bat. This is what I would say the most dangerous part of the batting order. It's the heart of the batting order for the Golden Eagles. Cusker batting .267 on the year, 12 homers and 35 RBIs. We were talking about his physical prowess early in the ball game, standing in at 6'8" and 250 plus pounds. And CA Jr. sends us a super chat. We appreciate you for doing that, as the first pitch fastball to McCusker misses upstairs for a ball. Yappa Bro says, do I sell NH? Well, I've been holding with them all the way through. There's a fastball swung on it, is popped up on the infield. It's playable over on the left side. Moving over underneath it with room to make the catch is Yuki Nomura, and that is going to be one gone here in the 9th inning. So one away. It'll bring up the second baseman in Itsuki Moribayashi. I would say if you can get through Asamura, that's a good thing. But the flip side of the coin, the Fighters have the bottom third of the batting order. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th, they have Hosokawa slated to come to bat. Neil says, did they go extras? Yes, they do. They'll play as many as 12 innings in the Japanese League. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is quickly 0-1. If a game is tied after 12, then that is how the game will end. Hosokawa, Tamiya, and Narama slated to come to bat in the bottom of the 9th for the Fighters. Split finger pitch misses down, and the count runs even to 1-1 on Moribayashi. It's been an entertaining affair here in this one, as the right-hander Yanagawa delivers a fastball, and he blows it right by Moribayashi. The count is 1-2. Word I would use there is overmatched, as Moribayashi was nowhere near that pitch. Here comes the 1-2 offering, as the right-hander delivers. Fastball just misses outside. The count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Neil says these games are really cool to go to in person. Yeah, it depends on the stadium that you're at, too, and the atmosphere. Fastball swung on and lifted foul down the right field line, and the count remains at 2-2. Question is, if it goes extras, will there be a runner at second base like the MLB? Nope, there isn't. So they end the game after 12 innings in a tie. It ends in a tie. In some ways, I kind of like that. Fastball misses down. It's now 3-2 to Moribayashi. Because you can think about it, after 12 innings, you know, from a fan perspective, at least in North America, Gets past the ninth inning. The fans are leaving. They're still trying to play the game, and you got nobody in the seats. In Japan, they'll sit and watch right till the 12th. There's a fastball taken center, cut right down the middle. Moribayashi stood there like the house by the side of the road. He watched it go by for out number 2. That's going to leave it all up to the first baseman in Itsuki, or first baseman in Hidetto Asamura. So back to Neil's quote. Neil said he heard the games are really cool to go to. Yeah, I've been to 8 of the stadiums. They have 13 stadiums that they use. As the first pitch fastball just misses on the outside quarter to Asamura. Going to the Giants Stadium, I mean, they get a full house to see the Murray Giants. I don't know if I like the stadium per se, but the crowd is into it. As the pitch on the way is a fastball that misses outside. The count is 2-0. Probably the stadiums, at least that I went to with the best atmosphere, would have been the one in Hiroshima, the Mazda Zoom Zoom Stadium, the Jingu Stadium. I saw the Giants and the Swallows a couple of times, so that would have been a fun one to get to. And on a selfish, personal level, I actually like going to the games where the Saitama Cebu Lions play. Fastball misses down. Count now goes to 3-0 on Asamura. That pitch looked pretty good. Maybe it's a veteran call that Asamura gets. So 3 balls and no strikes as the right-hander kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that catches the outside corner. Now the count goes to 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike. CA says, anybody watch the CFL? I can't watch that. And there were so many rule changes after last year. I don't know what to tell you anymore. Fastball swung on and missed. The count goes to 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. As the right-hander ready to deliver, he kicks and fires. Fastball swung on and missed. So down 3-0, he comes all the way back to Yanagawa to strike out Asamura, and that is going to do it here for the Eagles in their half of the 9th inning. They go in order, no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're moving to the bottom of the 9th inning. It is the Fighters 3 and the Eagles 3. Stick around, everybody. We'll see if the Fighters can bring this one home, or if not, we're going to go to the top of the 10th. So 3-3 is your score, and we'll be back in just a few with all the action right after this. If you want some atmosphere, check this out. We have ourselves a pitching change. We'll get that for you when we come back in just a couple of moments, but the Eagles are going to a left-hander. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back right after this break.
She's from heaven, heart says of the Amazon.
pitching change as the Eagles are going to their bullpen. It is going to be a left-hander. It is going to be Katsutoshi Tai, who is coming on in relief. He is making his 10th appearance of the year, and he is yet to allow himself a run, or at least an earned run so far. So he is taking over here. So Tai on the year. This is his second season with the Eagles. He's got 2 wins and no losses. He's worked 9 1/3 innings. He's allowed 5 hits. The scary number is he's walked 6, but he has struck out 12, and he's got himself that ERA of 0. So it is going to be Hosokawa to lead it off here against him, then Yua Tamiya, and then Taiki Narama to follow. So we'll see how this all works out. And the first pitch is a fastball that misses upstairs for a ball, and the count is 1-0. So that is one of the things that we were talking about just a moment ago, is the number of walks that he has allowed in the innings that he has pitched. Here's the pitch. Slow breaking ball misses inside. The count is 2-0. And I think if I'm a fighter right now, I'm probably putting the bat on my shoulder and waiting until he throws a strike. So 2 balls and no strikes. Left-hander against the left-hander as Tai kicks and delivers. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 2-1. I think if I'm the fighters, I might still keep that bat attached to my shoulder until he can show me he can throw another one. So 2 balls and 1 strike. And again, the lefty working to the set. Kicks and delivers. Fastball misses down and away. It's now 3 balls and 1 strike to Hosokawa. 3-3 tie here in the bottom of the 9th inning. 3 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for the Fighters. 3-6-0 for the Eagles. This game had tremendous pace through the first 6 innings, and it's kind of slid to a bit of a halt here. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and Hosokawa is aboard with a leadoff walk. So I would bet dollars to donuts that Yua Tamiya is coming up probably to bunt. That's my guess. And if he's not bunting here, I think there needs to be an investigation into Japanese baseball, because it is probably expected. It would be commonplace that we are going to see a bunt situation here. So Tamiya comes to the plate. He is batting .279 on the year, 3 homers and 15 runs batted in. Batting from the left side here against the left-handed throwing Tai. The walks are the kiss of death. I always talk about this and say that, I forget what it is. I want to say a leadoff walk, it's got like something like a 70% chance of scoring as they throw over to first base, and diving back easily head first is the runner, Hosokawa. So Tamiya not tipping his hands, so to speak. Usually when they throw over to first base, they're looking to see if the batter is going to break the hands to bunt in that situation. Tamiya showing nothing, but now he is here. Old Park knows he's squaring to bunt. Tamiya's got a job to do. Here comes the pitch. It's on its way. It's bunted. It's down. It's a good one. They're going to have to go to first. It's the only play they have. It's going to go as a sacrifice, 2-4 on the putout. Hosokawa has moved into scoring position, and that's going to bring Taiki Narama to the plate. Narama came on to pinch hit for Yuya Shinto in inning number 7. He had a sacrifice fly to drive in the second run of the game for the Fighters. So Narama getting a chance to play the part of the hero here. So Narama batting here. As we said, officially no at bat tonight, but he does have an RBI with that sac fly. So the lefty Tai getting his signal from his catcher. Works himself to the belt, checks the runner over at second. Here comes the pitch. First pitch, breaking ball in for a called strike, and he's ahead in the count at 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Narama. Lumen Code says he heard that you have a hero. Well, he's looking to play the part of a hero tonight. That is for certain. Here comes the 0-1 pitch as the lefty checks the runner at second. Now delivers. Slow breaking ball misses way upstairs, and the count is 1-1. So by my books, he has thrown 8 pitches, and 5 of them have been for balls. It's not what you're looking for from a reliever coming out of the pen. You need strength throwers. And Ty is yetting to show that he can do that. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. On its way. Breaking ball misses down, and the count now goes to 2-1. Manager Yoshi of the Golden Eagles is probably having flashbacks to his time as a manager with the Marines. He's seen this act before. Pitcher is unable to throw strikes. Here comes the 2-1 pitch as the lefty holds to the set, checks the runner at second. Now the 2-1 on the way. Breaking ball drops in for a called strike, and the count now goes to 2-2 on Narama. Waiting on deck is Tetsuki Mizuno. Mizuno got the party started in the first inning for the Fighters as the first pitch of the ball game he saw, he smacked for a home run. Wouldn't it be ironic if it was the last pitch of the game that he was able to deliver for another run? So we've got 2 balls and 2 strikes, and now Narama has asked for time. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yep, it says, how many outs? We got 1 gone here in the inning. As Ty holds to the set, he checks the runner at second. Here comes the pitch. Fastball swung on it, is golfed into center field, and it is going to get over the head of Tatsumi all the way to the wall, and that is going to do it, as this ball game is going to be over. So Narama with a RBI single to bring home Hosokawa, and it is going to be a 4-3 victory for the Fighters in this one. And that is how they're going to walk it off here in inning number 9. 1 run in the inning on the benefit of 1 hit. There was no errors, and there was a runner left aboard. Your final score is the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters with a 4-3 victory over the Eagles. Stick around, everybody. I'll come back and wrap it up for you. We'll tell you what we're going to do tomorrow night. Are we going to do this one again? Maybe. But I'm leaning really towards that game between the Dragons and the Bay Stars. But hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a few.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
First off, I want to thank everybody who had popped in tonight. We had a lot of new subscribers to the channel, and it's been a while since we've live streamed. And as I said, we did a lot early in the year. We missed some time, and we are going to be back on tomorrow, and then we'll see how next week goes. We have the All-Star break. We're not going to do those games, but we will look to do maybe a game or 2 next weekend. But I'll have to do it remotely as it won't be in the normal setup. Well, the ball game tonight, we'll give it the roundup. In the first inning, bottom of the first, Fighters got on the board. First pitch of the ball game that Tatsuki Mizuno saw, he deposited in the left field bullpen, give the Fighters an early 1-0 lead. Eagles responded in their half of the second inning. Carson McCusker doubled. Suki Moribayashi singled, and then it was a sac fly off the bat of Hideto Asamura that evened the score for the Eagles at 1 apiece. Eagles then took the lead in the top of the fourth inning. A leadoff home run off the bat of Yumi Yasuda in the right center field gave the Eagles a 2-1 lead. But then the Fighters, like clockwork, responded in the seventh inning. It was a leadoff double off the bat of Hosokawa after a ground out to first off the bat of Kamikawabata. Up stepped Taiki Narama, and he delivered a sacrifice fly to bring home Hosokawa to tie the ball game at 2. But the Eagles got one back in the eighth. With one out, it was a single by Rui Muniyama. After a ground out by Nakajima, it was a double off the bat of Yuma Yasuda that brought home Muniyama to make the scoreline 3-2 for the Eagles. And then in the bottom of the eighth inning, the Fighters responded with one of their own. With one out, a single off the bat of Franmil Reyes. It was Ryo Isabata pinch ran for him. He stole second. Up stepped Chusei Minami. He singled. That put runners at the corners. And then it was Kentaro Kiyomiya hitting a sacrifice fly to center field to bring home Isabata with the third run of the game for the Fighters. In the bottom of the ninth inning, it was a leadoff walk to Hosokawa. Yua Tamiya then sacrificed him over to second base and up stepped Taiki Narama for the second time tonight, and he singled home the batter Hosokawa, and that was the final score, 4-3, your final numbers in this one. Well, we're going to take a quick peek at the out-of-town scoreboard, and then we're going to call it a night here. Just taking a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. The other game between the Bay Stars and the Dragons, bottom of the eighth inning, it is 5-0 for the Bay Stars. That is at the Vantolin Dome in Nagoya. And at Kyocera Dome in the bottom of the eighth inning, the Buffaloes have a 5-3 lead over the Marines in that one. Other games will get going in less than an hour's time. It'll be at the Jingu Stadium. It'll be the Swallows hosting the Carp. At the Koshin, it is the Tigers hosting the Giants. At the Balluna Dome, it'll be the Lions hosting the Hawks. Those are your games on the out-of-town scoreboard. Once again, everybody, we appreciate you guys for listening to the Last Rounds Baseball YouTube channel. Come on back and see us again tomorrow. Hopefully you guys can join us. We'd love to have you back in for more action then. Have a great night, everybody. Everybody who stopped in, everybody who donated to the channel, we appreciate you gratefully. And look forward to doing this all over again tomorrow night. Have a great night, everybody.